quarter of the way through the season, that quest continues with some new faces and a few familiar ones too. They're fighting hard to remake their image. Tonight, another challenge, the opportunity to measure themselves against the world champions. Brimming with confidence and full of swagger, the Yankees come to Citi Field for the start of the Subway Series. It's next on SNY. The 2010 edition of New York baseball. No matter how you get to your stadium, the 7 train or the D train, whether you're for K-Rod or A-Rod, no matter which side of town you're from or whether you've been on both, it's time for baseball New York style. A chance for some newcomers to get a taste and some familiar faces as well as the Mets play the Yankees. At Citi Field in New York, the New York Mets play the New York Yankees. Mets baseball is presented in HD by IOTV. Get your HD free with IOTV. And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Citi Field. Gary Cohen, Ron Darling, Keith Hernandez with you tonight as the Mets and Yankees open their initial series of the 2010 season. Mets and Yankees, 14th year of interleague play. And somehow the passion has remained through these 14 seasons.
Well, this is a perfect rivalry right here. Come on, we're in the Big Apple. You're either a Yankee fan or a Met fan, and it carries over. Last year, the Yankees had the best of it. They won 5 out of 6. Mets looking for redemption this year. But this is the one interleague series that I look forward to, and I'm glad I'm a part of.
And the Mets come into this series dealing with a significant issue. Right before the game tonight, the Mets announced that they've placed John Maine on the 15-day disabled list with weakness in his right shoulder. Yesterday, not a very pleasant day for Maine or his manager.
Well, I think what happened after 5 pitches, he had a bad bullpen, and I think Dan Warthen told Jerry before the game he does not have it. Jerry did not want to wait after getting those quick first 3 runs, and that was it.
And so Maine and Manuel went at it in the dugout. Afterward, everybody had something to say. More significantly, pitching coach Dan Warthen.
Then there's got to be something, incorrect in that arm. Something's got to be feeling bad. John's, a habitual liar in a lot of ways as far as, his own health. And, he's a competitor and a warrior, and he wants to go out there and pitch. But, we have to be smart enough to realize that this guy isn't right. The ball's not coming out of his hand correctly.
Well, I think when you use the word habitual, that's a word that I'm sure Dan Warthen would love to take back. But John Maine is going to be gone. That's now 3/5 of the rotation is gone.
And so the Mets will call up Elmer DeSanz, purchase his contract from Buffalo to get a little pitching depth on hand for the weekend series. Meanwhile, the Yankees, the defending world champions, have lost 8 of their last 12, and they're dealing with some injury issues of their own.
Well, the injuries are on the offensive side. It's the strength of the Yankees. You can see right there, Curtis Granderson, of course, the center fielder got over from Detroit. It's been out for quite some time. Nick Johnson always finds a way on that DL, and yesterday they lost Jorge Posada. And also Marcus Timms is in trouble with the sprained ankle stepping on that bat, and Nick Swisher can only swing pretty good from the right side with that bicep. So they still got Teixeira, A-Rod, and Cano in the middle. They still got a pretty tough lineup.
And those guys are going to get their first look at Isanori Takahashi, who tonight for the Mets makes his first Major League start.
Well, he's been fantastic in the long relief all year. Jerry's going to see if he can push him through to the 6th or 7th inning. And, of course, on the other side, Vasquez, who had a career year last year and 15 wins. They're going to see if he can get his first real good start in a Yankee uniform in 2010.
Javier Vasquez has always pitched very well against the Mets during his time in the National League. So the Mets and Yankees have at it for the first time this season. All the action on SNY. By Geico. By AT&T, rethink possible. By Frost-Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. By Capital One, what's in your wallet? By Audi, truth in engineering. And by State Farm. Today's State Farm agent of the day is Pat Coley of Glendale, New York. It's the Mets and the Yankees getting set. Isanori Takahashi ready for his first big league start. His first pitch is coming right up. Part of that, John Franco and Mike Piazza performing the first pitch ceremony. And we'll have Mike up with us in the booth a little bit later on to talk about some of those rather heated Mets-Yankees confrontations, which, of course, Piazza was right in the middle of.
I was thinking that maybe Piazza was having flashbacks of blocking the pitch because, you know, John threw so many in the dirt.
Piazza looks good. Good play.
He looks great.
Both of them. Oh, yeah, really.
Here's the Yankees starting lineup for tonight. They have to have their pitcher back for the first time this year. Unfortunate for them, it's one of the better hitting pitchers in baseball in Javier Vasquez. Jeter and Teixeira and A-Rod just starting to come around with the bats. All have struggled early in the season. Those guys have been able to stay healthy while a lot of the complementary players have not. That's why you've got a Francisco Cervelli and a Kevin Russo who's making his first major league start tonight in the lineup for Joe Girardi.
And getting the start for the New York Mets on this Friday evening is Takahashi. Think about it, probably maybe consider him the most valuable player in the bullpen for the Mets this season, as he was outstanding in those little stints trying to push him a little further. Ask Jerry Manuel. He said if he's throwing nice and comfortable, we'll go to 90 to 100 pitches.
And we'll take a look at the Mets defense here. That's brought to you by Lexus. Pagan, how well has he been playing? What a hustler. What a nice road trip he had. One of the bright spots on the road trip. 63 games without an error. He can cover. He has great lateral movement and cover into the gaps. With the best of them. There he is. And a hustler.
So Alex Cora is playing second base. Luis Castillo was another late scratch tonight. He continues to be bothered by the bruise on the bottom of his left foot. And
Jerry Manuel is going to keep an eye on him and hope that a couple of days will do, but certainly they will hold out the possibility of disabling Castillo if it's going to be too long.
Well, I think that a lot depends on the Mets if they can get a win in this opener. If they win it, then they'll try to rest Castillo for a couple of days.
Both teams will have frontline pitching going the next 2 days. Mike Pelfrey against Phil Hughes tomorrow night. Johan Santana against CC Sabathia Sunday night. This game, in terms of the pitching matchup, a little more of an unknown. Derek Jeter having trouble getting the weight off his bat. It's never been much of an issue for him swinging, though, against the Mets. A lifetime .386 hitter, the best of any player against any team. And we're talking about the 2000 World Series. People talk about Game 1 being the turning point. To me, Game 4, after the Mets won Game 3 and Jeter led off, first pitch against Bobby Jones in a home run at Shea Stadium, and the Yankees won that Game 4 and Game 5 to win the World Series. First pitch of the night for Takahashi, and a swing and a miss by Jeter. 0-1. Jeter had 3 hits last night against the Rays, trying to get his season jump-started, getting a .275 after a tremendous season last year, in which he finished 3rd in the MVP balloting in the American League. Stroke the other way, and Jeter's got himself an opening hit. Career hit number 2,797, more than any other active player.
Well, we saw something right there that we haven't seen very much from Takahashi. Very rarely throws 2 pitches in a row. 2 successive fastballs to Jeter, cost him a single.
Jeter goes that way his whole career so well, and he just knows how to play the game. He's one of the great players to ever play the game. Winner. No question.
So the Yankees have a leadoff base runner. Now Brett Gardner, the speedster, and we'll see how Joe Girardi chooses to play it in the first inning.
They have been bunting with him in the first inning, so we'll see.
Particularly with a left-hander on the mound. And he is up there to bunt, takes a strike. We've got Takahashi, a guy who's been coming out of the bullpen, now all of a sudden going back to starting, which he did for many, many years in Japan. How will his pitching pattern change? You mentioned the 2 straight fastballs to start Jeter.
Well, I think one of the things you'll see a lot more is the curveball. He's going to use that a lot more. When he would come in relief, he'd really just throw that fastball an outstanding change. But I think you're going to see more curveballs against the Yankees tonight.
Gardner pops the bunt foul, and now he's in a 2-strike hole.
And I really feel that, Ron, that curveball is his 3rd pitch. And it's a good curve, but it's not a real sharp breaker. He commands it well, but it's not a real great breaking ball.
But I think he uses it against right-handed hitters to get a strike, first pitch strike.
John Maine plays today on the 15-day disabled list with shoulder weakness after last night's rather bizarre exit after one batter. Saw the doctor right before the game today, leading to that conclusion. And the Mets have recalled Elmer Descends. Don't know whether Descends is going to be here and available tonight. But Descends, the veteran who did some fine work for the Mets last year and during this spring training, will get the call and probably be available as a long man.
We have not found out, but I'd be very surprised if Descends is not close.
0-2, and Gardner fouls one back. You think that they had planned all along to get him in the neighborhood just in case?
I would think that, because I said it on when we did the pregame. I thought there was a 99% chance that as soon as the doctor saw John, that he would be put on the DL, and he was.
Well, the Mets rotation now in a vast state of flux, with Maine's issues, with Oliver Perez banished to the bullpen, with John Neese on the disabled list. The Mets are Santana and Pelfrey and auditions going away 1-2, and that's the way Jerry has characterized this start for Takahashi, as well as the start that R.A. Dickey made in Washington. These are auditions for permanent spots in the rotation.
The problem is that you're going to have to, Jonathan Neese, who's out, of course, with the hamstring, you're going to see how deep you are in starting pitchers starting tonight, and that's going to be it's going to play a big part in how the Mets proceed these next 10 games.
Takahashi keeping an eye on Jeter, who has 4 steals and 5 tries this year. Well, Santana and Pelfrey, for the most part, have been just outstanding, and the rest of the starting staff, as you can see, has done very little. In fact, Mets starters only have 1 win in the month of May. That was Pelfrey in Atlanta on the last road trip. Struck him out. Takahashi with the off-speed pitch gets Gardner for the first down of the night. And this has been the biggest surprise about Takahashi, his strikeout rate.
Well, he knows how to pitch. The great thing about Takahashi is that when he gets ahead of you, he does not throw you a strike. He'll bounce it in there, and he also is not afraid to throw the changeup to a left-handed hitter.
And I think, too, Gary, he's new to the league. Hitters are getting a feel for him. It's the first run through. I don't think he's this kind of strikeout pitcher. I think that the strikeouts will come down, but that doesn't mean he's not going to be just as effective. He knows how to pitch.
Now Mark Teixeira trying to get his season jump started. Looked like he was getting hot a couple of weeks ago, but he's now just 1 for his last 15. A perennial slow starter, and the Mets hope his slow start continues for another 3 days.
And his slow start still consists of 15 extra base hits, 7 home runs, and 30 ribbies.
30 ribeye steaks.
Hitting just .214 for the year. Much better as a right-hand batter. And he pulls one down to third. Could be 2. Right to Cora with the turn. Double play. Side retire. 5-4-3 around the infield. And now the Mets will come up against Javier Vasquez with no score. Castillo out of there. Alex Cora in the 2-hole. Otherwise, the same unit that took the field last night in Washington and produced 10 runs and 15 hits. Big nights last night for Reyes and Wright and Davis and Bay, and Barajas added a home run, and Mets will hope to keep it going against an old nemesis, Javier Vasquez.
And Toyota brings you these stats here this season: 8.01 ERA, 17 walks and 30 innings pitched. That's not going to make it. And 8 home runs. That's been a problem for Javi also. Here's a guy that first time through the lineup, they're batting under 200. Rest of the time through the lineup, almost 400. So it's been a real struggle for Vasquez after a career year last year with the Braves.
15 and 10, 2.87 ERA last year in Atlanta. Jose Reyes looked awfully good at the plate last night. Runs up as though to bunt and takes a strike. Reyes went just 2 for 5, but he hit the ball hard 4 times.
Defense fairly straight up and at the corners, of course, even though Jose doesn't drag bunt that much.
And Jose lines one to left field, but right at Russo, a converted infielder. Immediately tested. He grabs it for the first down.
Well, how perfect to go to your Coors Light Yankee defense. Kevin Russo getting his first start in the outfield, first major league start, and the ball finds him in the first play. Good cheater. What more can we say about him? He is just a terrific player. It's a pretty good infield they got there, don't they?
Here's Alex Cora. Started last night, went 0 for 4 with a sacrifice fly, making his 16th start of the season.
Boy, check out A-Rod right there. They've noticed that Cora has drag bunt more than a few times. Good drag bunter. He's not going to do it now with A-Rod breathing down his throat.
It'll be very interesting to see whether the Mets are going to be patient with Vasquez, a pitcher who normally has outstanding control, and that's the way the Mets have seen him in the past. Last year, Vasquez walked just 44 batters in 219 innings. This year, already 17 walks in 30 innings, a complete reversal of form.
Well, the people with the Yankees that I've talked to, that he's come into this Dave Allen, the pitching coach, he's come into this season. They thought he'd been trying to be too fine, pitching that AL East, which has some real heavy hitters, just trying to really nibble at the corners instead of being aggressive like we saw him last year with Atlanta. He would pound you with the fastball and put you away with the breaking ball. He hasn't got to that breaking ball this year.
You saw that gun there. I don't know if that gun is slow or fast or right on the money. That was 85-mile-an-hour fastball, and he throws harder than that.
Like he kind of goosed that ball a little bit. Here's the 2-1 to Cora, and it's upstairs, 86 miles an hour, 3-1 as Andy Pettit, who got torched by the Rays yesterday, looking on.
He's been outstanding, though. I mean, 5-1 this season.
It's probably more of a commentary on Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I think so.
30-11, the best team in baseball.
I think they made a statement.
Swept that 2-game series. And Cora taking all the way on 3-1. A full count with Jason Bay on deck.
Ronnie, you see any change in the motion? Watch how high he goes up with his hands on his windup. I don't recall him ever going that high over his head.
Yeah, usually he kept it around chest high when he did that little kind of hitch in his motion.
Look how high his hands go.
It's almost like he brushes it against the bill of his cap.
It also looks like he's pushing the ball toward home plate, and he walks Cora on the 3-2 pitch to give the Mets their first base run. So I think you're both right. I think he looks very different on the mound than what we saw last year. Of course, Yankee fans have only seen the worst of Javier Vasquez. It's his second tour of duty with them, and he struggled mightily the first time.
He did, but he pitched that second half hurt that year, and you have to be commended for going out there every fifth day.
Here's Jason Bay, 3 more hits last night, and hitting .365 over his last 14 games. Now the Mets just waiting for the power to come.
Very interesting, throwing harder from the stretch, more compact. Yep. That glove doesn't go way over his head, and threw at 89 miles an hour.
And Bay waving at the breaking ball, and it's 0-2.
He's got a good one, Keith.
Yep, that was a good one. It wasn't a strike, but ahead, why throw a strike? That is a good baiter right there. And the Mets, how many different lineups now has Jerry had in the course of the season? 25 different batting orders in the first 42 games. Searching for a third hitter.
And Bay goes down on a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. What a difference from one hitter to the next for Javier Vasquez.
Just nice and compact. Just throws it right by Bay.
Ronnie, would you have him if you were pitching coach? That kind of difference? Would you have him to throw from the stretch?
You might not have him throw from the stretch, but I would limit his hand movement in the windup. Absolutely.
So now Ike Davis steps in. Ike hit a couple of very impressive doubles last night en route to a 3 for 5 night. One of them off the fence in left field.
Nice debut in the cleanup spot.
Ike hitting at .289, and he pops the first pitch foul.
Yankee outfielders playing deep. You got to respect the power, particularly right fielder Nick Swisher. He's got a lot to cover out there with that Modell's Mo zone, that concave area out there.
Swisher's used to at home just running about 5 steps and watching it go into the stands.
Where he's standing right now, that's in the seats
yes,
at Yankee
it
Stadium.
Is.
And Davis takes it wide, 1-1. And so far this year, Vasquez has had enormous problems getting the left-hand hitters out. .644 slugging percentage. Ouch. And it's in the knees with a breaking ball, and it's 1-2 to Davis. David Wright hitting 5th in the order on deck.
Very much playing the pull here. Look at Cano. That's playing dead pull. Jeter up the middle.
This is so early in a career, right, Keith? Hard to have a book on Davis.
Vasquez ahead 1-2, and he misses low inside with the fastball 2-2.
Close, wanted that pitch.
I saw that inside though. Ball
Close, too close to take. He had him. Oh, he moved the glove. You might probably right.
Corey at first with 2 down. And Cervelli moves inside, and the throw over, just a calling card. Jim Wolf, brother of a pitcher, calling the balls and strikes tonight. Todd Titchener, Marvin Cousins, and the crew chief Marvin Hudson, and the crew chief Darryl Cousins off the baselines. 2-2, struck him out with a high changeup. He gets Ike Davis, so back-to-back strikeouts for Javier Vasquez to finish the first inning. When we come back, that all-time great Mike Piazza joins us here in the broadcast booth.
Stay fair. Goodbye, Mike Piazza, a 3-run homer.
Well, that was one of the memorable moments in the 2000 season, and the man who hit that home run, capping a 10-run inning against the Braves, is with us. Mike, it is great to see you.
Good to see you guys. Really enjoy watching you.
Good.
Just do a good job.
Well, it's the 10th anniversary of the Subway World Series, and you were part of so many Mets-Yankees games. It's got to be interesting for you to come back and watch this.
No, it is, and I first of all, I can't believe it's 10 years already. We talk about making you feel old, but yeah, I really enjoyed these games. I mean, you know, from the onset, I knew if you could do well in these games, it could really help your standing with the home fans. So I was fortunate. My first year, I think I got traded here at an OK series, but then '99, I really got up for these games. And how could you not? I mean, with the fans and the energy, it definitely has a playoff atmosphere.
Question for you, Mike. When you first came over here the first year, you kind of struggled a bit, and then you got Jason Bay out in left field. He's hit 30 home runs for how many times? He's got 1 home run to quarter mark, struggling at the plate. Relate your experiences that first year when you struggled. Was it the pressure of New York?
Everything. I mean, and you know as well as anybody, I mean, when you just get out of your game and you get out of things that are comfortable for you, it could be very, very frustrating. And especially with baseball, because you start thinking, well, if I could only go 8 for 10, if I could only go 20 for 30, and it just doesn't work that way. But, you know, I always say, and I said something about him about a week ago, and I just said it's just baby steps, you know, scratch a hit and a walk, try to slowly get back to where you're seeing the ball well, and you're not pressing, and you're not going out of the strike zone. Take your walks, and you get a bad hit or a lucky hit, as we say sometimes, it has a way of getting some momentum, and then you start, you know, squaring the ball up.
Is that different here? I mean, is it you have to shield out the noise a little more here than elsewhere?
I just think everything's magnified here.
As A-Rod hits one to center field, and Pagan is there. One out.
Yeah, I mean, everything's magnified here. You know, the media, the scrutiny, the attention, and when you're struggling, and when you're doing well, for that matter, too. So, you know, as I've said, I mean, it's the best place to play when you're winning, and it's the toughest place to play when you're not. So, you know, you just have to ride it out and hopefully, you know, hang in there.
Do you have a favorite moment from those Mets-Yankees games? I mean, you know, the grand slam against Clemens and the one you hit on the tent at Shea Stadium. But is there something that stands out in your mind?
Yeah, that game the ball hit against the tent over the left field bullpen was a great game. I mean, that was one of those slugfests. It was like 4 hours of BP, I was saying, and it was back and forth. And I think Matty Franco got base hit to win the game. And
off Rivera, yeah.
Yeah, but there were so many moments. I mean, we had so many great games that it's really tough to pin down. I hit I think a bottom of the 8th home run too. I forget, we were close to getting swept. We lost the first 2 games. It was a Sunday night game.
There's so many are hard to remember.
Yeah, but no. I don't mean for me. I mean just moments in general, you know.
Do people remind you about the Clemens thing a lot over the last 10 years?
Yeah, no, I mean, it is what it is, you know. You just deal with it. I mean, I actually just saw Roger January. I was at a golf tournament in the Bahamas, and I said hi, shook hands, you know, it's in the past, but it was an interesting time.
Robinson Cano shoots one out to Reyes. And so Takahashi has the first 2 outs here in the second. So tell us, what are you up to? Are you just Mr. Mom, Mr. Dad?
I've never been so busy doing nothing. I'll tell you, it's great. I mean, I got 2 little girls, and I'm just really involved. I mean, preschool, swimming lessons, and love helping out my wife, and you know, makes the marriage better when you can. You know how that goes. You help out. It's fun, and you know, I do little things here. I'm still coaching with the Italian, their national team. I go to Italy at the end of July. Actually, we have a European Championship in Stuttgart, so I did that at the World Classic last year. So that's kind of my way of staying connected to the game and going over there and helping out their program a little bit.
You got some of your old teammates here this weekend. Benny's here, Turk's here.
Johnny Turk. I mean, it was fun. And, you know, of course, you get together. The insults start flying right away. You know? Yes. I went in and I said, okay, let me see the guy. So it's fun. I mean, we a lot of great memories with that team. And for a team that really, I mean, in all honesty, we didn't have the best talent, but it was fun. We were a true team, and we played together, and we found a way to win every night instead of finding a way to lose. And that was a lot of fun to be a part of that.
I really feel, Mike, that of all the Met teams in all Met history, there was never one player, one hitter in the Met lineup that really carried the team over the course of a season like you did. I really feel that way.
Oh, I appreciate that. But I also feel, again, you know, it's like, you know this, it's just the guys around you. We had good synergy and, you know, just Super Joe and guys like that just were able to pick us up when we needed it. It just seemed like when we were down, I mean, yeah, I knew what my job was to be the bull, but, you know, I needed help too, and everyone needed help. So it was like we had a great bullpen, we had great starting pitching, played great defense. You know how important that is. We caught the ball. So we didn't beat ourselves a lot, and we were able to hang with the tough teams, and we snuck in there, and we almost won the World Series, which with a team that, you know, as I said, didn't look really great on paper.
I know one thing for sure, that 2000 League Championship Series against the Cardinals, I never felt Shea Stadium shake the way it did during those games.
Those games were great. We had so much fun, and, you know, beat a really good ball club as well.
Swisher out to center field. And Pagan is there. Takahashi with a 1-2-3 inning. Mike, so good to see you again.
Good to see you guys. Yeah, I keep watching you guys.
Stop by anytime.
Too short.
And Mike Piazza with us. And you have to reach a little for this.
Yeah, there's some sync on.
we are getting some fantastic shots of Citi Field from the blimp tonight. That is just awesome. Looking over the third base side, over the light towers. David Wright trying to build on a good night last night. Drove in 4 runs, including a 3-run double in the first inning in Washington. And he hits the first pitch toward the middle. Jeter, though, is there to snag it. Wright hit the ball hard, but one pitch, and Vasquez has the first out.
That was a bullet.
Well, take a look at his swing. Getting the barrel, I like the top hand coming over, and I like the fact that he's getting the barrel of the bat out. We talked about him being, David being a little late all the time, and that's a good sign. Shortening that swing up.
So 1 hard out to start the bottom of the second, and now Angel Pagan, who took an 0 for last night, but is hitting .317 over the last 11 games. He was due for a little hangover after his big night on Wednesday night. Takes the changeup wide. It's 2-0.
I don't think enough can be said about Angel. Remember, coming out of spring training, as you see Rod Barajas on deck, Jerry went to Gary Matthews Jr. Angel had to sit on the bench. He did not say a word. When he got his shot, he made the most of it. And he's been, other than the power, kind of Beltron-like in center field, especially defensively.
Well, the defense has been just fantastic. I mean, it's been Gold Glove caliber.
Yeah, that's what's kept him in the lineup, and his hustle. I mean, he is grown on us up here. I don't think he hasn't grown on Jerry Manuel down there.
Vasquez behind 3-0, and Pagan takes a strike. Well, it took a lot of years for Angel. I mean, he has had to shed the tag of extra outfielder and got playing time last year and this to prove it. There's a strike, and it's 3-2.
He's almost like a wild stallion that had to be broken. You know, I mean, he had so much talent, but he was going every which way but loose.
He's not making the mistakes that he made last year in the base running, throwing to the wrong base. He's really playing a much more intelligent game.
It's almost like the game slows down for you when you play more, right?
Sure. It's nice to know when you come to the ballpark you're going to be in a lineup, no matter what. You don't have that hanging over your head. If I 0 for 4 yesterday, I may not be in a lineup today.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. You don't have the Beltran, Carlos Beltran hanging over your head because you know he's a ways away.
Or it's an opportunity for him.
Yeah,
with Beltran down, he took advantage of his opportunity.
So then the question becomes, what happens when Carlos comes back? I mean, if Pagan is still going the way he's going, you can't sit him down, can you? I mean, that might cost Frank Corson playing time.
It probably would cost Frank Corson playing time.
Might be kind of a platoon situation in right field.
Absolutely.
Jeff hitting 8th in the order again tonight.
You know what, though? Frank Corson, he's a hot and cold player. He's going to get hot again. And everybody's going to forget about this cold spell he's gone through. And this is the kind of player that he is.
Pagan strikes out on the high fastball, so Vasquez comes from 3-0 to get Pagan. Third strikeout of the night for Javier Vasquez.
Vasquez must feel he's back in the National League here again as he's just slowing down the Met hitters, especially via strikeout.
Mr. Suzuki around the majors for tonight. Last night, Nelson Cruz 4 for 5, homer, 4 RBIs for Texas. They walloped Baltimore 13-7. Don Lester threw a complete game 6 hitter and beat the Twins 6-2. And Ubaldo Jimenez keeps rolling. 8-1, 0.99 ERA. First pitcher since Fernando Valenzuela in 81 to win 8 of his first 9 starts with an ERA under 1.
What was Fernando's? 0.95 maybe? Something like that.
It was the year of Fernando Mania in Southern California, something Rod Barajas knows all about. He grew up hearing about Fernando Mania and going to Dodger games with his dad.
That year Fernando had that start. That was the hardest he ever threw in the big leagues, and that's why he had that terrific year.
And he was only, wink, wink, nod, nod, 20 years old.
Yes. Right. Did he throw you the screwball?
Yes, he did.
So lefty to lefty, you get it.
But he wouldn't throw it inside. He tried to throw it outside corner, and it didn't do much because he was throwing more across his body, right?
Yes.
It's very difficult for him to do that in the outside corner to a left-hand hitter. I used to love it when he did it.
0-2 to Barajas, curveball foul back. That was a very interesting stat that we
really
just flashed up there. That Javier Vasquez is second in the major leagues in strikeouts in the last decade. Who would have guessed that?
Nobody.
But what he's been is consistent. Each of the last 10 years, he's had at least 10 wins and at least 150 strikeouts. CC Sabathia gets to start Sunday night for the Yankees against Johan Santana. Talk about marquee lefties. And Rojas chasing a pitch out of the strike zone gives Vasquez his 4th strikeout in the first 2 innings. He's off to a good start. So is Takahashi as we go to the 3rd. Club members receive 2 tickets, an ID card, club cap, bags, special offers, and much more. Sign up today at Mets.com/kidsclub. Aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. We're providing us with some outstanding pictures tonight as the Mets and Yankees move into the 3rd inning. Isanori Takahashi gave up a leadoff single to Derek Jeter in the first. He was erased in a double play. So Takahashi's faced the minimum through the first 2 innings. And Francisco Cervelli will lead off. Cervelli doing all the catching right now for the Yankees, with Jorge Posada now on the disabled list for the long term with a fracture in his foot.
5 games in a row now for Cervelli. He's featuring that larger helmet, was hit in spring training in the head.
One that David Wright wore in Colorado last year. And an awkward cut at the changeup, and it's 0-2. Cervelli, 24 years old, a native of Venezuela, much like Marco Scudero, an Italian family that moved to Venezuela, and thus the last name Cervelli.
Some amazing towns. They have a lot of Italians that have moved to Venezuela. You know, the town that Johan Santana comes from, very German ancestry.
Johan. There we go. It's the 0-2. Low and inside. Ball and 2 strikes to Cervelli with Kevin Russo, the rookie left fielder, on deck. And then the pitcher Javier Vasquez.
Not J.S. Bach, Jay Santana.
It's the first press book, the Yankee press book I've seen. They don't have the height and the weight of the players. They always have the height and weight of the players. Not in
Here's the 1-2, and it's up and into Cervelli. Would you like Cervelli's height and weight? Is that what you were?
I was curious. 5'10", 172.
He doesn't look like a big guy.
That's what I'm going with.
I got 6'1", 210.
No way. No way.
That's what it says in his bio. I'm reading it right off the screen.
It's like an NBA height.
Well, he's crouching. Here's the 2-2 on the way to Cervelli, and he fouls it off. Takahashi who last pitched on Sunday in relief. 3 innings, 2 runs, 4 hits. After John Neese went down with a hamstring injury. What a week it's been for Mets starting pitcher. First, Perez gets beat up and banished to the bullpen. Neese hurts the hamstring again. Now Means alongside Neese on the disabled list. Thank goodness for Pelfrey and his health.
The Mets have lost 2 pitchers to the DL this year, and that's not even going where John, who just went on the DL. 2 pitchers on the DL fielding bunts. Neese and Igarashi.
Igarashi, by the way, there was some thought about activating him tonight, but they're going to give him another appearance in Buffalo tonight and then perhaps activate him as early as Sunday. 3-2 to Cervelli, and he walked him. So Takahashi issues a leadoff walk, and the Yankees have a man on with Kevin Russo coming up, and we'll check in for the first time tonight with Kevin Burkhardt.
Oh, you had Mike Piazza in the booth honoring that 2000 Mets team. I'm with Fonzie. Edgardo Alfonso is here, one of the best pure hitters this team has ever had. You played last year with the Yomiuri Giants with Hisanori Takahashi, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. We played in Japan last year.
Give us a scouting report. And what was he like over there? I mean, was he a rock star over there? How did fans react to him over there?
Well, I think they love it. I think he's a great pitcher in Japan. He's the kind of guy who's going to show you control. Well, this is the first time he's going to start today against the Yankees. Nothing easy, but he's a good pitcher. He's a good pitcher. He's kind of the guy who can be working the corner. He had a good breaking pitch, and he's really on the game, you know.
Edgardo, you just told me that you're still playing. You're going to play for the Newark Bears this year with kind of a Major League All-Star team. Tim Raines is managing. Scott Spezio, a name Met fans don't really like, by the way, is going to be there, as Russo is going to punch one into the outfield. The Yankees have the first 2 on. Cervelli is going to try for third and make it. So the Yankees have a little rally here. But, talk about still playing. The fire still burns for you to keep it going, huh?
Oh, definitely. I think I still have a lot on me right now. I'm 36. I think play a couple more years and be ready for anything happens. So I think it's going to be a great opportunity to go to North to play there and just keep playing.
It was the first major league hit for Kevin Russo as Javi Vasquez was batted. Edgardo, when I look back at the 2000 season, that playoff run, I think back to Game 2 in San Francisco when JT Snow hit that shot off Armando Benitez. I know what I was thinking on my couch. What were you thinking when that happened? I mean, what was going through your mind at that moment right there?
Here we go again. No, that was a great game. I remember I hit a home run against Felix Rodriguez, and then we were so happy into JT Snow's coming and hit that ball, But it's part of the game. This is part of the game, and thank God we just did what we did.
Edgardo, it's a pleasure catching up with you. Always fun to watch you hit, and good luck in Newark this year, okay?
I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Fonzie, guys, Yankees have a rally. Let's go back to you.
All right, thanks very much, Kevin. And so the Yankees now with runners at second and third with 1 out after the West Babylon-born Kevin Russo picked up his first major league hit. And now a chance for Derek Jeter to give the Yankees the first lead of the night. Mets have played the infield back with second and third and 1 out. Jeter had a base hit through the hole on the right side to open the game.
I'd like to see Ike Davis get a little bit deeper. We saw that if Jeter goes the other way, he's kind of in the middle of nowhere land, right here. Either you're in, which I can't believe you want to come in this early, or get back. There's not going to be a squeeze play with Jeter.
Now with runners at second and third.
Keith, you make a great point. Jeter, the way his hitting style is, it's almost like as a first baseman, you have a left-handed hitter up. I mean, that's how many balls he hits that way. So you want to get back to cover as much ground as possible. But a little bit deeper. You can get to that bag.
Joe Girardi with his new number this year. Ring number 28. Or 27 last year.
It worked last year. Tony Pena.
1-0 to Jeter. And he comes inside to him. Something he didn't do in Jeter's first at bat. 1-1. Brett Gardner waiting on deck. Takahashi in his first major league start, 35 years of age. First start by a Japanese WAR player for the Mets since 2005 with Kazishi. And that's a fastball strike. So Takahashi back-to-back coming in to Jeter to get ahead.
And right to the glove. Ties up Derek.
It's almost like Derek was sitting on the changeup from Takahashi. Just the opposite. Went after him with the hard stuff.
He hit him 3 times in a row.
He's going to bounce a changeup here.
Jeter 8 out of 12, getting that runner in from third. And he lines one foul.
You were right, Gary. He went in there 3 times in a row. Breaking ball?
I think it was a slider here. Little cutter.
Yeah.
Little cutter.
And that ball was about 3/4 the way there. It looked like Jeter, no way he could make contact.
He rushed out and got it.
He did.
Good location on that pitch.
The only place he could hit it was foul. So now Takahashi backs off the mound to think out the next one. It's fun watching him pitch.
Well, he just missed with a changeup, pounded 2 fastballs in, cut one in, has to now have that outside part of the plate open.
Back inside, on the inside corner, strike 3 call. Well, Jeter complained about all 3 strikes with the home plate umpire Jim Wolf. That's the second out of the inning.
I thought that one might have been inside.
The other 2 were good.
So Takahashi has his second strikeout, a huge one.
But give him credit, Takahashi and Barajas, for pounding Jeter in.
It's too close to take, but I thought it missed. You got to pitch Jeter in.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
How many times have we seen him stick his fanny out and get that call throughout his whole career?
Oh, big second out for Takahashi as he pitched brilliantly to Jeter. Now he'll take on the left-hand hitter Gardner, who struck out his first time up. Change up down for ball 1. Keith, here are the Yankees facing Takahashi for the first time. Most of them have never seen him before. He did pitch an exhibition game against him 6 years ago in Japan, but most of these Yankees haven't seen him. With a guy who throws this many pitches, how long does it take to get a read on a guy like this?
I don't think he throws that many. He's basically got three pitches, 2 breaking balls. He's got a straight fastball and a changeup, so he's standard. But you want to get a feel for a pitcher, what he likes to do. I always wanted to know how they wanted to pitch you with men on base in a situation like this, particularly late. And, it's just something you have to go through. It's baptism under fire, by fire. And you just have to go up there and experience it. And that's the trouble with interleague play and World Series play. You don't face these guys.
1-1 to Gardner. And the slider on the outside corner, a strike. 1-2.
Keith, he has that big curveball, and he's got that little cutter slider, too.
It's that same pitch that Jeter pulled foul.
It's almost like he'll kind of make up pitches, which ones are the pitch to throw in a certain situation. And he cut it a little bit. That ball's outside, too, I think. Good umpire, though. You mentioned it.
Jim Wolf, the pitcher's umpire, always has been.
Going to come inside and the change up in the dirt.
1-2 to Gardner. Stroke to third. And right on target to Davis. Side retired. Isunori Takahashi pitches his way out of trouble in the third. Still no score. Series as they bring you an inside look at the Hot 9 New York sports topics of the day in the next Wheelhouse, presented by Pepsi, weekdays at 5:30 only on SNY.
I can't get enough of these shots, by the way, boys.
Just a beautiful night in New York, and
sure is.
Perfect night to ride up in a blimp and take pictures of Citi Field. I envy those guys. That would be a great job.
I think when it gets windy, I'd be a little afraid.
But not tonight.
Yeah,
Tonight's perfect. Jeff Francoeur hitting 8th in the order for the second straight night. And he hits the first pitch in the air to center. Brett Gardner easing over. One pitch for Javier Vasquez and one out. There's your Time Warner Cable high-speed pitch. Both Vasquez and Takahashi topping out at 91 so far tonight. Yankee GM Brian Cashman in the house. Here's Takahashi, who's had 3 at-bats this year with 1 hit. Takahashi was rather unfazed about this starting assignment. I mean, he had 202 starts in Japan, but more than that, he pitched for the Japanese version of the New York Yankees. He pitched for the Yomiuri Giants. That was the team, very much like the Yankees have been.
Well, Matsui came from that team.
And that exhibition game we talked about back in 2004, remember the Yankees went over to start their season against the Rays at the Tokyo Dome. As Russo makes the grab for the second out. And Hideki Matsui hit a home run off Takahashi in that game. And he said it was one of the most memorable moments of his career.
You know what's interesting when I just watch his body language? Takahashi, to me, walks around with kind of a regalness. But you know what? I've already had a great career. I'm just coming over here and trying to test my mettle against the greatest players in the game. And he's very comfortable with himself, his stuff, and going after these hitters. It's been fun to watch.
2 out and nobody on. Jose Reyes takes the strike. So Vasquez settling into a groove. He's retired 7 in a row. Reyes led off the first inning with a line drive to left that was caught. Well, that's really the only hard hit ball tonight.
They've been working on Jose to keep his hands back.
Grounds this one out to Cano. And so Vasquez has himself a very easy inning. He throws just 7 pitches to get through the third. Still no score. Here's your Mets upcoming schedule. Remember, all Mets games on SNY are available in HD, presented by IOTV. And if you're not near a TV, you can listen to all Met games on Sports Radio 66 WFAN. National TV the next 2 nights. We'll be back with you Tuesday night when the Mets play the Phillies for the first of 3. And then the Mets will go to Milwaukee and San Diego on their next road trip. So this is the start of a very challenging week for the Mets against the defending world champions and the defending National League champions. Mark Teixeira leads off in the 4th in a scoreless game. Teixeira bounced into a double play his first time up. Takahashi's thrown just 40 pitches over the first 3 innings. Victor Martinez with a home run off Cole Hamels in Philadelphia for that 1-0 Red Sox lead.
Teixeira's second straight year of a slow start with the Yankees. And, you know, he's always kind of been a slow starter. And I got to believe it's more mental than anything. Early in my career, I was a slow starter, but that was just a lack of confidence. I hadn't established myself. But Teixeira's an established all-star. It's just amazing that he would, you know, continue on having tough Aprils and Mays.
You know what I think about as A-Rod's on deck? When I think about Teixeira, he's so routine and the way he goes about his task. I think April, you have a lot of off days. You know, you have 2-game series, all those kind of things. When you start playing every single day, he tends to turn it on. Loves playing every day.
Rolls over one to shortstop. And Reyes throws him out 1 away. I mean, everybody has a routine in baseball, but Teixeira seems a little more, maybe mechanical's not the right word, but just more locked into his routine, regimented than most.
Yeah, he really is. And I think, you know, that's something to be admired in a game that lends itself to routine and consistency. He does it as well as anyone.
Here's Alex Rodriguez, who flying to center his first time up. A-Rod with 6 home runs this season, now at 589 lifetime. And that puts him 7th on the all-time list. The off-speed pitch by Takahashi to get in front.
And you see A-Rod, look at his back foot. It's just as deep as you can get.
He's pretty close to the plate, though, right?
Very close to the plate. Why wouldn't you? They don't throw at you anymore.
That's right. That left elbow is almost on the inside corner.
Well, he's got the pad on the left elbow.
Watch it when he takes his stance. Look at that elbow.
Curveball sits high, and it's 1-1.
Well, whenever you have great hitters, you know, the problem is to get them out, you have to pitch them in. But it's danger zone in there because they're so good, and if you miss by just a little bit, you're rubbing up a new one.
Barry Bonds used to hang out over the plate. A fastball by Takahashi beats him upstairs, 1-2.
Do it right by him.
I think what Bonds did, though, is we see this fastball fouled back by Teixeira's pitch before. I think what Bonds did better than anyone else, though, he recognized strikes and balls. Would never swing at a ball off the corner.
1-2 to A-Rod. Curveball bounce foul. Now, did Barry have that ability at the beginning of his career?
No, he's more of a free swinger, but he was great from day one. You know, I gave up his second home run, so I'm in his book. But he, you know, he's a leadoff hitter in the beginning, a little more of a free swinger, and he just developed into a guy who stood right on the plate, and he had a little circle that's all he would swing at, and he had to come there at some point. And when he went in there, he was one of the greatest hitters of not missing that pitch. Because everyone misses a pitch at times. It seems like he went through some seasons where he didn't miss that pitch when he got it.
Takahashi had 1-2 on A-Rod.
And going back to Bonds, Barry Bonds hit off his back foot. And Barry Bonds was one of the greatest hitters I ever saw that squared up to the ball. He kept his shoulders parallel to the ground, enabled him to hit the high ball as well as golf the low ball. He going back on his back foot. Most guys drop that shoulder. He never dropped his shoulder on the high pitch. He's the best at it.
2-2. A little bit low with the fastball. 3-2. Now, what about A-Rod? Does he have more ways to pitch to him? Is he a little more aggressive out of the strike zone?
I think A-Rod is more of a streaky hitter. And when he gets into his certain streaks, you can't get him out. I mean, he'll go a whole month. He'll hit 12 home runs, drive in 30 in a month.
A-Rod's got a good eye at the plate, but he's got a longer swing.
3-2. Grounded toward the hole. Reyes on the backhand has a long throw to make. And no chance to get A-Rod. Infield hit for Alex Rodriguez.
Little change up here. Jose trying to throw on the run. Momentum carrying him into the left field foul territory. A tough throw right there.
And he never got a good grip on the baseball, so he got nothing on it.
And A-Rod hustled down the line. No chance.
So the third hit off Takahashi. And a one-out base runner for the Yankees with Robinson Cano coming up. Cano grounded out to short his first time up.
Cano's come a long way this year as far as hitting left-handers. I like him better swinging against a left-hander than the righties. The righties he gets a little careless against right-handers, but against lefties, boy, he stays in.
Cano has 6 home runs against lefties, tied for the most in the majors this year. 6 of his 9 against left-handers.
He had an unbelievable season last season, and Cano is paying attention on defense. He's playing all 9 innings, both sides of the ball, and he's a guy that you look at and someday might be a batting title guy.
Just coming into his own at 27 years old, and Cano pops one up. That'll go out of play. 0-1. Started the night 6th in the American League in batting.
You see those splits right there. 320 against the lefties with 6 home runs. And remember, you're not facing as many left-handers as you are right-handers. So that's some serious power numbers against the lefties. Of course, you've got that nice porch in right field. It helps.
Helps all the left-hand hitters. Not here. Breaking ball ripped down the right field line. Hooking. Foul.
Very quick inside.
Boy, did that ball get out quickly or what?
Very fast batter. Trust your hands. Fastball in. It is in. Boy, oh boy, he's on it like.
Nice catch. No glove. That was a hard hit ball. Even at 350 feet away, that was a hard hit ball.
Show me something if Takahashi goes back in there again. This time off the plate since he's got an 0-2 count. Go back in there.
Got a hit last time 0-2 on Cano and got him to ground out to short. Not the base stealer he once was, at one time a 40-40 performer. At age 34, he has just 2 stolen bases this year.
But he'll pick his spots, especially late in games.
Rojas wants the fastball away. 1-2.
Well, I always think this way if I'm Takahashi. I threw a fastball in, turned on it like it was 50 miles an hour. That means he's susceptible to a changeup down and in. Bounce one.
He's shown he will throw that changeup to the lefties, which a lot of left-hand pitchers won't.
Changeup. Out of the strike zone, too.
1-2. Just got a piece of it to hang in there.
People forget how that's what the good hitters do, is that you make your pitch, it's in its spot, he's thrown at the right speed, and they barely foul it off. They foul off your pitcher's pitch.
You get a piece of it and keep the bat alive, and you make a mistake down the road, it'll make you pay. Takahashi in this at bat is still in position to nibble. See if he'll go fishing.
Going away with the fastball, and he hits it out the other way to left field. Bay going back, it's over his head and off the wall. A-Rod digging for third. He'll stop there, and at second with an opposite field double is Robinson Cano. Second and third and 1 out. First extra base hit of the night.
Well, just a great at bat for Cano. Fastball away. See how he stays in? That's how you drive the ball to the opposite field. Hit it up the plate. Bay plays it beautifully off the wall. That is just a tremendous at bat.
You know you've looked at a good hitter when he can cover your inside fastball and also hit an outside fastball off the wall.
12th double of the year for Cano. So Takahashi, who worked out of a second and third 1-out jam in the third inning, has second and third and 1 out against him here in the fourth. Nick Swisher flying to center his first time up. Again, the Mets will play the infield back and concede a run on a ground ball.
Ike Davis in nowhere's land again. He's kind of in between.
And a good off-speed pitch to Swisher gets a strike. He's your IOTV pitch differential.
It's not a bad pitch. You know what? If that ball was down, he's still going to cover it. Look at his feet, stepping right straight ahead, shoulder in. That's impressive.
Takahashi trying to pitch out of another jam. And Swisher chases it out of the strike zone, and it's 0-2.
Boy, that's something you very rarely see from Nick Swisher. He's got a great plate discipline. But, you know, hitters get a little anxious also when they cut a couple ducks on the pond.
I gotta wonder if his biceps bothering him. He got a little injury like that. You might get too quick.
It's supposed to be bothering him a lot more swinging left-handed than right-handed. It's an injury to his left biceps. Here's the 0-2. He fouled back the fastball. Swisher sat out 3 straight games and then started last night against Tampa Bay.
Good cut right there.
Takahashi's thrown 59 pitches, 45 strikes, and 14 balls.
Santana like.
With a 3-to-1 strike to ball ratio. Needs a strikeout here. And Rojas goes down to get the changeup, 1-2.
Well, that might be a setup pitch there. Bounce one away. See if he's fishing. If he's not, try to go back in like you did against Derek Jeter. Try to get the call from Wolf.
Great kazoo on deck. Cervelli.
No.
One-two to Swisher. He struck him out. Takahashi went right back to the changeup to get Nick Swisher 2-man down.
Well, he only threw Nick an 0-2 fastball. Other than that, all changeups and curveballs, and could not stay back was Nick Swisher.
Well, we've talked about Takahashi's strikeouts, and sometimes it's not how many you strike out, it's when. Twice tonight he's been faced with a runner at third with less than 2 out. He struck out Jeter in that situation in the third, and he gets Swisher here in the fourth. Now he's got Cervelli at the plate with the rookie Russo on deck, first base open.
Well, Russo got a hit, his first major league hit off Takahashi in his first at bat. So, you know, Cervelli's gotten off to a quick start, batting .357 coming into the game. Has more big league time, of course. So I'd be careful with him, but I certainly wouldn't pitch around him.
And Cervelli, with runners in scoring position this year, is hitting .579, wow. The best in the major league.
Let me take that back.
.579. I don't think that'll last.
With that helmet. It's a lucky helmet.
The David Wright helmet. So with A-Rod at third, Cano at second and 2 out. Scoreless game in the fourth. Takahashi trying to pitch through another difficult jam. And Cervelli takes the strike. The backup catcher for the Yankees is Chad Moeller, who was just called up yesterday when Jorge Posada went on the disabled list. But Joe Girardi said he'll probably catch Cervelli all 3 games this weekend unless he sees some sign of fatigue. 0-1 from Takahashi. Hit to center field, chasing Pagan back a couple of strides, but he has it lined up. And that'll do it for the Yankees in the fourth. Another great effort by Takahashi to get himself out of trouble. East rival Phillies begins Tuesday night at 7:10 p.m. Visit Mets.com or call 718-507-TIXX for your tickets now. Aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Alex Cora leads off the fourth inning against Javier Vasquez, making his first start in 9 days, and has held the Mets without a hit so far. And the changeup misses high for ball one. Or a walk. He's been the only base runner for the Mets tonight. Since that first inning walk, Vasquez has retired 8 in a row.
I think the Mets have come into this game offensively, waiting to get Vasquez to get behind, and they've seen the walk numbers, but he has been getting ahead. Not this time.
Except with Cora.
Yeah.
Alex always is looking to extend the count.
Especially when he's leading off an inning and no one scored yet. He knows how to play the game.
And you got Jason Bay and Ike Davis to follow. Last night the Mets put up 10 runs and 15 hits against the Nationals, looking for their first hit tonight. And Cora taking all the way, and it's high, ball 3.
Both Cora and Bay have spent some time playing against these Yankees in big series. They're used to it.
I wonder how much Red Sox Yankees is different from Mets Yankees. There's ball 4, and Cora's on with a leadoff walk. Second time he's been aboard via the walk. Let's check in with Kevin Burkhardt. Kevin,
I asked Jason Bay today, guys, his assessment the first quarter of his first season as a New York Met. He said it's been below average, no question about it. He said, the problem is I got myself into such an early hole. I just feel like I'm digging and digging and digging to get out, and that's a really rough feeling. And he said the last 2 weeks I've started to come around. I started to feel good at the plate, which I did in the whole beginning of the season, and the hits are starting to come. He said, but the home runs are not. And I'm not the type of person that can really force a home run, so I'm just going to keep that mindset, keep trying to feel good, and hopefully they'll come. Gary.
In the air to left center. Over goes Gardner. Near the warning track, calls off Russo to make the catch. And Cora goes back to first.
Is that ball out in Fenway?
Well, it's the least off. No, that's out. That's gone.
They couldn't quite get enough of that curveball to get it beyond the warning track.
Well, I think for people that are a part of that Red Sox Yankee series, this Yankee Mets is the domination of New York baseball in a 3-game series. The Yankees Red Sox is kind of domination of the modern world. That's how they feel about it.
Well, there are so many more games.
That's right.
They last quite some time. I mean, they play each other 19 times a year. They usually end up playing 6 or 7 more in October. Here's Ike Davis with 1 out and 1 on. Ike struck out his first time up. Been an odd night for Vasquez in terms of balls and strikes as Davis pops up the first pitch. And Jeter comes over with the angle. Russo calls him off. 2 out. Vasquez has thrown 8 balls to Alex Cora. 6 balls to the other 12 batters. Very strange. Both Bay and Davis retired on 1 pitch, and now they're 2 out of the inning for David Wright. David bounced out to short his first time up, a well-struck ball that Jeter played toward the middle.
It's one of my little theories, guys. When you make an out, your first at bat on the first pitch, very rarely will a hitter swing at the next pitch in an at bat. No one wants to make 2 outs on 2 pitches to start a game.
So we'll see if Vasquez gets a free strike here. David with not quite Jeterian numbers against the Yankees. Well, there goes your theory.
There it is. He was swinging.
But he didn't make it out.
Well, watch David's take back. Hands held high, going back on his tippy toes. He's getting beat. He collapsed his elbow in there. He got beat inside. That didn't. It's not quite as long. I know he's trying to shorten that stroke, and he needs to.
What's the phrase they use now? Getting the barrel of the bat to the ball. Something like that, right?
Squaring up, whatever it means.
What does that mean? just means hitting the ball solidly.
Yeah, right, exactly. Squaring the bat up to the ball. Looks like it's so the ball, the trajectory of the ball is perpendicular. The bat, squaring the bat up makes it perpendicular. It's just another term as we advance forward in our civilization.
You and I won't even know this game in about a couple of years.
That's right.
Relics. Off the right side out of play. It's 0-2.
Dinosaurs. That's right. Cavemen. Gets beat again here inside. David's set up to go the other way. He's totally set up to go the other way, and he can't handle that pitch. He's beat big time.
A back foot come off the ground.
If you're going to look to go the other way, then you've got to be disciplined enough to know, okay, I can't hit the inside pitch. I am going to take that pitch. I'm looking for the ball over the plate. I can't cover the inside corner. I got to take it.
Well, how can you tell? Can you tell before the pitch is thrown that he's set up to go the other way?
I can just tell by his swing when he's set up the other way. A lot of hitters today, they don't go naturally the other way. They are completely committed 100% to going that way, and they're so vulnerable inside.
So kind of a premeditated at bat.
They really dive today when they go the other way.
Cora runs. White takes the pitch outside. Oh, by Cervelli, and he got it.
Wow.
Beautiful throw by Cervelli. A beautiful tag by Cano. And Cora is out, stealing to end the inning from his knees. It's pretty impressive.
Wow.
Your favorite Mets to this year's All-Star game by voting up to 25 times at Mets.com. Vote early, vote often, vote Mets. Vote today at Mets.com. Beautiful aerial shot as we get set for the fifth inning in a scoreless game. Isanori Takahashi in his first major league start has gotten himself out of a couple of big-time jams the last two innings. Now he faces 8-9-1 in the Yankee batting order. The rookie Kevin Russo making his first major league start, got his first big league hit his first time up tonight. Russo, who was born in West Babylon on the island, grew up and went to high school in Colorado and then played his college ball at Baylor, but grew up a big Yankee fan, a big Derek Jeter fan, and now he gets to play with Jeter. Got to call him off on a pop-up.
I was just thinking about that. That's got to be quite a feeling for a young player. No, I got it, Derek. I got it.
Russo actually, his prime position is second base, but Joe Girardi was talking before the game tonight that they asked the folks down in Scranton Wilkes-Barre to play Russo in the outfield a little bit to make him more versatile. The line's going foul, and that's why he got the call when the Yankees needed an extra player.
Kind of interesting watching him take this at bat. It reminds me a little of Joe Girardi, the way that Joe used to hit. Very short, quick stroke.
Javier Vasquez on deck, and then Jeter here in the 5th. The Yankees 4 hits, the Mets no hits. Line, foul. Takahashi keeps pumping in strikes. 67 pitches, 52 strikes for Takahashi. It's phenomenal. The goal was to keep his pitch count down so he could go deep into this game. You know, he's been pitching in relief, so you figure maybe 80, 85 pitches at the most tonight. But, you know, as Jerry Manuel said yesterday, if he's pitching free and easy and things are going well for him and he gets to 100 pitches, that wouldn't be a terrible thing. I mean, this is not a kid. This is a 35-year-old veteran who has been a starting pitcher his whole life. But there is something to be said for, you know, stretching out and getting your arm in shape for throwing 100 pitches. Here's the 0-2, and the breaking ball misses on the back door. 1-2.
That's a good pitch.
By the way, if you're noticing that Keith's being a little quiet this inning, we sent him out on an errand.
He always goes out. What do you mean?
No. I mean like a work errand.
Oh.
Yeah. He's going to go sit down by the dugout and give a perspective from down there. In fact, I see him getting all wired up right now.
By the way, there was a foul ball sent right his way.
He would have been fine.
He would have smashed it.
He was a Gold Glove. Still is. There he is. Normally that's where Kevin hangs out, but I figured Keith could use a little lower perspective. 2-2 now to Russo, so we'll hear from Keith in a moment.
You know, I sat down there once this year. It's a different perspective to be that close. You can look into the dugout. Players are right on top of you. You really get a feel of these new stadiums and how close you are to the game.
And with the buzz in the ballpark tonight, I think it's a little extra special to sit down there. Here's the 2-2, and Russo takes it off the plate. Right in back for Mr. Russo in just his 4th big league at bat.
Yeah, well, it's not close to a postseason buzz, but it's the closest you're going to get for a May game.
This will be the 10th pitch of the at bat to Kevin Russo. And he hits one to center field. Pagan oozing back. One away. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Chevy. Find your nearest dealer on ChevyOffers.com or call 877-64-CHEVY.
Well, guys, that was a great example of what you do when you have a 3-2 count here in this ballpark. Get it on the outer half. Let the guys see if he can take you out to center field because this ballpark is so big. I think Mr. Russo covered that pitch.
Here's Javier Vasquez, who laid down a sacrifice bunt his first time up. And he takes on the outside corner strike. Keith, are you wired in with us?
I'm here. Ronnie, he did hit that ball pretty good, but guess what? That was a can of Del Monte out in center field. He hit that ball good. He just had big uppercut, and fly balls don't get out of here.
The home runs go to die.
Well, you have to be a real home run hitter here.
Yeah. Well, you got to be a pull hitter if you're going to hit them out here. I tell you that. A lot of chatter in the stands, guys. A lot of chatter. The folks are conversing. There hasn't been any offensive activity to really get them excited here, but there's a buzz. They are having a good time and talking away.
We got any Yankees versus Mets buzz there, or is it?
Well, I got a couple of Yankee fans right here behind me.
Giving you the business?
No, they're not. They're all very nice, actually.
It's become so much more civilized.
What's going wrong?
1-2 to Vasquez, lifetime 207 hitter. He was very excited about coming back for this game tonight. He loved hitting in the National League. We first saw Javi when he was pitching for Montreal. He looked like when we first saw him like he was going to be a real superstar pitcher. He's never quite reached that height, but he's been very serviceable now for a decade. 1-2 from Takahashi, and he misses inside. Vasquez now 33 years old. Facing the 35-year-old Takahashi. 2-2. He bounces it foul, so the 2 at-bats for the Yankees here in the 5th inning from the 8th and 9 hitters, lengthy ones. And of course, this is something that the Yankees always do well, build up starters' pitch counts. But especially important when you've got a guy making his first start of the year who might, be on some kind of a limit. Trying to get into that bullpen early. And it makes me wonder whether Elmer Descends has shown up. Here's the 2-2. Just off the corner with that changeup. And the full count to Vasquez.
Hey, Keith, from your vantage point, can you really tell the deception in Takahashi's motion?
The angle here, where I'm situated right here at the tip of the front of the Mets dugout. I'm more than halfway down the first base line.
Vasquez hits one well to right, but Frank Gore easing back. And there are 2 out.
So, point being, Ron, you can tell the off-speed pitches, but my angle is, for me, it would be a great angle if I can get around 20 more feet to my left and closer to home plate, where I can kind of get a view, more of a view from looking out to the pitcher. It's tough, but it's almost like I'm broadside here.
Maybe if you borrow one of the long lenses from the photographers, you get a little better.
Or maybe I can just bump off one of these guys sitting down here in these front row seats.
There you go.
A Yankee.
Here's Jeter with 2 out and nobody on. Jeter grounded a single to right in the first, and then in the third in a big spot, 2nd and 3rd and 1 out. Takahashi got him looking. And the curveball, first pitch in for a strike.
Boy, Jeter
has been very upset all night.
Hasn't he? He gave him another moan and groan right there.
Well, Derek feels this pitch is coming around the strike zone and that it might be a little high. Barajas caught that ball deep into his body, made it a strike.
That one wraps around the plate. It's 1-1. Brett Gardner would be next. No score. We're in the 5th. The Yankees have all 4 hits in this game. Jeter has one of them. And he swings and misses at the changeup. Takahashi had punching 1-2.
Well, Ronnie, one thing I can tell from this angle, and I'm at ground level here, it's such a great seat, is I can tell a ball sinking and how, up and down. And that changeup right there, the bottom dropped out real late.
To Jeter. He struck him out. Isanori Takahashi gets Derek Jeter for the 2nd time. 4 strikeouts for Takahashi. What a pitcher's duel we have going. Halfway through, the Mets and Yankees with no score. NewYorkSports.com. I mean, these guys are stars. Look at, everybody wants to pose with them. They got that story into the computer. How'd they do that? Mauritius driving the bus. Mandeep's going along for the ride. Good to have you here, guys. You've become big New York sports fans.
Not there.
Mets looking for their first hit as they go up against Javier Vasquez in the bottom of the 5th. David Wright grounded out to short his first time up. And he pops the first one foul. David was at the plate when Cora was caught stealing to end the 4th. It was just the 45th pitch for Javier Vasquez tonight.
Well, David's approach has been to be very aggressive from at all 3 first pitches.
Watch, guys, how David's on his, when he takes his stride, that tap stride, his front foot is on his toes. That is the new style of hitting, now what they teach. I don't particularly care for it, but if it works, it's worked for David. I haven't got a problem with it. But that seems to be the new style. It's right on his toes. Almost like a ballet dancer.
David lays off, and it's 2-1.
It's a quick stride, too. Most, he strides before the pitcher releases the ball, and it's almost like, I guess, a timing mechanism. As you can see, before Vasquez even got rid of the pitch, he's taken that tippy-toe step, really.
It's almost like he's setting up his hips for that violent rotation with that tippy-toe.
Well, a lot of hitters today are taught to hit with their upper body with all the weightlifting.
2-2. Struck him out with a high, hard one. That's strikeout number 5 for Javier Vasquez. 1 down in the 5th.
And it just looked, guys, like a big uppercut swing, and he swung right under the ball. That's what we've been seeing from David. It's interesting for me to watch him here. I'm used to watching him on the monitor up with the center field camera, but I'm getting a broadside view here, and it's a completely different look. It's very interesting. It's really you can really break down a hitter's swing with that view. Now, with Pagan hitting left-handed, I just see his backside. It's going to be tough for me to evaluate Pagan's swing.
He looks kind of like Eric Severide sitting there next to the dugout.
Eric Severide, he was a blonde.
That very serious demeanor we just saw you with.
Well, I'm very focused on watching the guys hit. This is a great angle. I love it down here. I love it. This is box seats.
2-0 to Pagan, a rare 2-0 count for Vasquez tonight. Pagan struck out his first time up. That is very close, I have to say. You need your glove, Keith?
No, but I got my hand ready. Just in case.
Don't hurt the microphone. Foul back. 2-1.
This park, Gary, is still not as close as it would be at Wrigley. I think Wrigley's a lot closer, but this is just, I almost feel like you can reach out and touch Pagan. You're this close. It's just beautiful. I love it.
2-1 for Vasquez, and that's on the inside corner. 2-2.
See, Pagan tends to pull his shoulder out, and I've had conversations with Angel, and he's always very conscious of his front shoulder pulling off. That's when he gets bad, when he goes into a bad streak.
Off speed, floated into center. That's going to fall for the Mets' first hit of the night. So after Vasquez had held the Mets hitless for 4 1/3, Angel Pagan with the first safety.
Keith, changeup up here.
Yeah, with the changeup, he just didn't get it away enough. He pitched him inside pretty much predominantly that bat, Ron. And that was the out pitch to go away, and he just left it out over the plate. Pagan, not a great off-speed hitter from the left side of the plate. Didn't get him out with that off-speed stuff, but he's getting better.
So the Mets have just their third base runner of the night. And Ron Barajas will step in. Ron struck out his first time up. He's never had a whole lot of luck against Vasquez. Just 2 for 16 against Vasquez in his career. A low throw bouncing away from Teixeira, but not far enough for Pagan to make a move. That was a very strange toss by Vasquez.
Well, he's got that quick move, and then he kind of grenades it over there. Right, quick move, and then just threw it right into the ground. Nice play by Teixeira.
Change up grip.
He is a winning player, Teixeira. Just does those little things. And that ball for most first basemen down the right field line, Pagan go first to third.
Tampa Bay Rays did a lot of running against the Yankees in their 2-game series.
Cervelli made quite a throw from his knees to get Cora in the previous inning.
Of course, Cora not quite blessed with the base stealing speed that Pagan has. But that was quite a toss by Cervelli from his knees. Pagan with 5 steals and 7 tries this year. Hit hard, but foul. Of course, the other piece is the Mets have their home run leader at the plate.
Yes.
Rojas hit his 10th home run in the game last night in Washington. Tied for 5th in the National League in home runs. You have to say, rather unexpectedly. I mean, he's a guy you hope would come in and hit 15 to 20, but 10 home runs through a little more than a quarter of the season. That's a bonus. These guys, Pagan and Barajas, these have been the bright lights in the Mets offense this year. The complementary guys. Pagan takes another half step and Vasquez throws over.
You have to include Castillo in that group. He's been very solid also.
Yes, really picking up where he left off last year. Problem with Castillo has been staying in the lineup with that heel problem that he's been battling for the better part of 3 weeks.
Interesting, guys, how a lot of the hitters today, and I can really see from this angle, they really have their feet spread far apart in their stance.
Check swing roller should be 2. Cano to Jeter, jumps over the runner, and still plenty of time to throw on Barajas for the 4-6-3 double play. We played 5 at Citi Field. Mets and Yankees still no score. Recap, it's been all pitching tonight. Yasunori Takahashi in his first major league start has gotten out of a couple of big jams, struck out 4. Javier Vasquez has not had any traffic at all. Mets haven't had a runner past first base, and Vasquez has struck out 5 and given up only 1 hit.
Guys, can I interject?
Please do.
One observation, totally off the playing on the field. they give away balls like crazy every half inning. They just think they're throwing balls at these kids up here. They never did that back in our day. You get fined. I think it's great.
That's how our buddy Zach Hempel gets 19 balls in one game.
That's right.
Brett Gardner leads off in the 6th inning, and we'll keep an eye on Takahashi and Dan Warrington and his pitch count. That's pitch number 86 for Takahashi, and the Mets get the bullpen cranking, and I believe we have Oliver Perez up in the bullpen. He made his initial relief outing in Washington. Gardner breaks his back, and Cora hurries in to play it. The bat and the ball and Gardner all arrive at first base at the same time. 1 out as we check out the fireworks. Let's go to Gary Apple for a New York State Smokers Quit Line game break. All right, Gary, now Mark Teixeira steps in with 1 out and takes the curveball up and away from ball 1. That is only the 4th first pitch ball that Takahashi's thrown to 21 hitters tonight. Well, Elmer DeSantis has made it from Buffalo. He's up along with Oliver Perez. Elmer just called up today with John Maine going on the disabled list. Good off-speed pitch. Change up, a great weapon for Takahashi. It's 1-1. Teixeira has grounded into a double play and bounced to short over 2. Well, you have to figure one way or another this is going to be Takahashi's last inning. In the air to center field, playable for Pagan. Traffic for Angel tonight. That's the 2nd out. That's his 5th put out of the game. Takahashi making it look easy. Maybe it won't be his last innings. He got a quick out here against A-Rod. But he is due a turn at bat when the Mets come up in the bottom of the 6th. Rodriguez had an infield hit his last time up, a single to deep short. Robinson Cano followed with a double off the wall and left. But then Takahashi was able to strike out Swisher and get Cervelli on a fly ball.
Well, if Takahashi gets through this inning unscathed, I know one thing he has insured himself.
Another start.
Another start.
Well, I think the same could probably be said about R.A. Dickey.
I agree.
The performance he turned in on Wednesday. He took Oliver Perez's spot. Takahashi is taking John Neese's spot. And then somebody's going to have to take John Maine's spot. Off the inside corner, 1-0.
Guys, I always thought that A-Rod really kept his feet way widespread. And he doesn't. He's just so tall. He is a little beyond shoulder length. He's set to hit.
On the inside corner with a fastball, 1-1.
And as opposed to David Keith, he doesn't have the tap.
No.
He has more of the leg rises at the
he uses his sorry, Ronnie. He uses his lower body. He uses his entire body. He doesn't just rely on his upper body. His body is in sync.
1-1. And the changeup just misses. 2-1. One a night for Takahashi. But Vasquez has been just as good. And one mistake could mean the difference.
He's keeping these Yankee hitters, Ronnie, off balance, and they have not figured out his changeup. I've been down here now for 2 innings with the Yankees hitting, and they haven't figured out his changeup.
You know, one of the things he's doing, Keith, is that every fastball is at the knees also.
Yes.
If you had your fastball high, they'd be able to sit on something up in the strike zone. He has not thrown many balls above the thigh.
2-2 to Rodriguez. And the curveball poked into right field. That's a base hit. Frank Court chasing it toward the line. A-Rod on his way to second. And Frank Court's throw. Close play, but he's safe. What a throw by Frank Court from the right field corner. But A-Rod sliding in with a 2-out double.
Well, kind of a hanging curveball in the middle of the plate. Fought off by A-Rod, who comes out of the box hard.
He made this play closer, Ronnie, because he made a big wide turn. I got a great angle of him making his turn at first base. He had a big wide turn coming out of off of first base, running towards second. And Francoeur made the strong throw.
Beats that throw.
I tell you what, sitting down here, guys, and I watch A-Rod stretch that into a double, it just makes me want to get back on uniform, play again. You know, doggone it. That's not fair. Why can't they be like golfers and play to our 50s?
Forever young.
That's right.
Well, Descends and Perez both ready in the bullpen, but Dan Warthen coming out to the mound, and the Mets will stick with Takahashi for one more batter. Cano had a terrific at bat in the fourth inning and doubled off the wall and left. The Yankees have had their chances tonight. They're 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position. Takahashi has risen to the moment so far, trying to do it again against Cano. And this is inside of the changeup, 1-0.
David Wright way off the line at third. And Ronnie, you're right about him at the knees. He's got that sinking changeup. It makes a hitter have to really sit back and wait to the last moment to identify the pitch, and kind of takes away from the power. But this is a situation only a base hit puts you ahead.
Foul. 1-1. Got that hesitation delivery, Keith. Can you see that and see the effect that has on the hitters from down there?
I see it, absolutely. I see it. I would be able to tell you if it had an effect. I'd have to get in the box and really see it from my own experience. I can't get in that box and tell you that hesitation has an effect. I'm not so sure it does. I just think he's such a craftsman out there. You know, a little something extra here, a little off here, down the knees, nibbling as he does. I shouldn't say nibbling, that's the wrong word, because he knows how to pitch. But a hitter really has to stay back and wait off a guy like this.
1-1 to Cano. And he fouls off a fastball. And now Takahashi ahead of the count. He had Cano 1-2 the last time. He tried to get him with a fastball away, and Cano did a great job getting it off the wall and left.
Well, I think when you have a scouting report, the Yankees are probably telling their hitters, you have to get this guy to get the ball up. The question for them now is, what do you do if he doesn't throw the ball up?
Especially once he gets 2 strikes. This will be the 99th pitch of the night for Takahashi.
A-Rod gets a very deep lead. It's almost like he's walking out towards Jose Reyes to make sure that he's as close to him as he can, so he'll feel if Reyes wants to do a pickoff, and then he'll start towards third base, getting some momentum on that secondary lead.
Takahashi steps off and wants a conversation with Barajas before he throws what might well be his last pitch of the night. Have already gotten everything they could have asked for from Takahashi. Now just looking for one more out before they go to the bullpen. Elmer Descends, newly arrived from the minor leagues, but God said he was last year. A-Rod at second and 2 down. 1-2 to Cano. And he misses down with a slider, 2-2.
This is an interesting challenge right here. Takahashi knows he's got a very, very good hitter up here that had a very impressive at bat and doubled off the left field wall his last at bat, and now where a base hit can put the Yankees ahead. He's really pitching him carefully.
Again, where your catcher wants to tell your infielders, if it's in between you hit the dirt, you got to make sure you keep this ball in the infield.
Playing significantly toward left center against Cano this time.
Well, that's why I always think Cano could be a hitting champ someday. Wherever the pitch is thrown, that's kind of where his approach is. He can pull the breaking ball, throw him fastball the way he'll do what he did in his last at bat.
Get a foul home run earlier in this ball game in the second deck and right. 2-2. Fastball inside and low on a full count to Cano with the switch hitting Nick Swisher on deck. And you have to figure if Takahashi doesn't get Cano, that we'll see probably descends to face Swisher.
Well, I'd have to think that inside fastball to move the feet of Cano's got to set up a 3-2 changeup. Let's see if Mr. Takahashi goes with it.
3-2 pitch. A-Rod runs, swing and a miss. He struck him out. Takahashi came with the changeup and he fans Robinson Cano to end the top of the sixth. What a performance by Takahashi. His first major league start, 6 scoreless innings, 5 strikeouts, and the game remains scoreless. An absolutely splendid performance on the big stage.
That was very impressive. You know, boy, the interaction between Warthen and Takahashi a little different than Maine and Takahashi yesterday.
Jeff Francoeur will try and get Takahashi a run as he leads off the bottom of the sixth. Francoeur flied to center in his only at bat, and he takes up and in from Vasquez, who's allowed just 1 hit tonight. A 5th inning single to Angel Pagan. Francoeur fouls it back. Gary Matthews Jr. has come out on deck to bat for Takahashi. There is his line tonight. Twice he had a runner at third with less than 2 out. Both times he struck out the hitter. Jeter in the third, Swisher in the fourth. And then with a runner in scoring position in the sixth, struck out Cano to end his night. 1-1 to Francoeur. Pops it foul. Jeff has had a little renaissance the last few days, starting with his home run in Atlanta on Tuesday night. For the last 3 games, 4 for 10, including that home run after an 0 for 20 stretch. So hoping in the 8-hole, Francoeur can find himself. Vasquez has been splendid tonight. Francoeur just got a piece of that. Of course, these two guys were teammates early last season in Atlanta before Francoeur was traded to New York.
Chief, he hung that pitch. Can you see it there? Maybe you can't hear us now. He really hung that pitch.
Yes.
Again, the 1-2 and a high pop-up behind third base. A-Rod easing back and has room to make the catch. One away. So Francoeur retired for the first out. And now Gary Matthews Jr. will pinch hit for Takahashi. Now, Matthews' numbers for the year are not very good, but his career numbers against Javier Vasquez, great. 6 for 10, including a home run, and that's probably why Dave Island's going out to the mound to talk to Vasquez.
Listen, when you're a pitcher and a guy owns you, You don't need the pitching coach to tell you. You know it.
Exactly, Ronnie. It's just too much force feeding. You know, come on. He knows, a veteran.
Well, I would tell you, Keith, why I don't like the pitching coach come out. Now, this is just personally for me. I'm throwing a gem. I know what I'm doing. Let me keep my tempo.
Yeah, get the heck out of here. Let me throw the ball. Go sit down. Grab some pine.
How else is a pitching coach going to earn it?
I don't read lips, but I don't think that's exactly what Javi said.
He's too nice a guy. So there are the numbers for Matthews against Vasquez. Things have been looking better for Gary over the last few days. Had a pinch hit single in the game last night at Washington. Had a couple of hits in the last game in Florida. 1 out and nobody on. And the curveball from Vasquez. Haven't seen a lot of that tonight. Ball 1. Is that the conversation for your curveball?
He's got a nice feel, though. I mean, it's almost like he can throw any pitch for a strike. He was just trying to throw a little get-me-over curveball there and just missed.
And another one. This one for a strike. 1-1.
That was a better one than the first one. The first one he kind of hung up there up in the strike zone. That one was down and in.
Considerably low pitch count for Vasquez as Joe Girardi checks his charts. And a good fastball by Matthews, 1-2.
79 first curveball, 73 for the second curveball, and 89 by him.
Got a lot of long swingers in our on the Mets. You can really tell down here.
And the changeup, did he go? They check at third, no swing. Darrell Cousins with the call, 2-2. Mets have had just one hit tonight. Vasquez, starting for the first time in 9 days, has been in charge. I guess striking out Youkilis in that relief out the other night energized him. 2-2. Check swing. It's in for a call, strike 3. Matthews got caught in between and caught looking. 6 strikeouts for Javier Vasquez.
Well, that's one of those, if you're sitting on the bench and watching and see a little bit on TV, you know that Wolf has a big strike zone, especially on that outside part, but real good pitch by Vasquez. Perfectly on that outside corner.
And Ronnie put a little something extra on that fastball. You can kind of tell the changes in velocity here or my angle. And he pumped a little more extra mileage on that one.
So now Jose Reyes is 0 for 2, lined out to left, grounded out to second. 2 out and nobody on. And he buzzes him inside, ball 1.
It's for consistency.
Earlier, yeah, the 10 wins and 150 strikeouts 10 years in a row. But I think the 30 starts is impressive too. He's been able to keep himself healthy and in the rotation.
Well, this is something that I've seen 3 or 4 of Javi starts. This is something you haven't seen from him. He's mixing up his pitches, he's changing speeds, and he's using his fastball when he gets ahead of the hitter.
Reyes pops one up, and Jeter looking up for it. Squeezes it to end the 6th inning. Javier Vasquez allowed just 1 hit through 6. The Mets will be going to their bullpen when we go to the 7th in a scoreless game. Info on this weekend's Subway Series with up-to-the-minute Mets news, insight, and opinion on Mets blog presented by Verizon, featured on SNY.TV, your online home of all things New York sports. Aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. And now, for the first time in the 2010 season in the major leagues, 39-year-old Elmer Descends takes the mound for the Mets.
Well, you're going to try to see if his good luck in Buffalo will translate here up in the big leagues. 5-0 and only 17 innings pitched for Elmer Descends. A good ERA.
Nick Swisher, first man to face him, and he takes a strike. Well, Elmer was up with the Mets last year, and at a point in the season when the Mets just needed somebody to give them some innings, Descends pitched in 28 games for the Mets. It was very successful. However, most of his outings were not in high-pressure situations like, say, a scoreless game against the Yankees in the seventh inning.
Well, the thing he liked about Elmer is he could throw every day, and he threw strikes.
Swisher fouls one off the left side. Well, he's been a very serviceable pitcher for a lot of teams for a lot of years. Coming out of the Mexican League, pitched for the Pirates, the Reds, the Diamondbacks, the Dodgers, Kansas City, Milwaukee, Colorado, Atlanta, before landing with the Mets last year. And now 39 years old, and he looked great this spring also.
He did.
There's his numbers from last year with the Mets. 1-2 to Swisher, up and in with a fastball, 2-2. Well, I mentioned this on the broadcast last night, and I think it bears repeating. The Mets have reached a point in the season with their pitching staff where the scholarships are over, and now it's performance that's going to land people in spots. Line into center field, a base hit for Swisher, and so the Yankees get the leadoff man on in the seventh inning. Some guys can't even walk and chew gum. He can run and warm up.
Well, the one thing about Swisher is that some guys, they come to New York and it's a little rushed for them to play for one of these high-profile teams. Nick Swisher took to it like a fish to water. Just loves the attention, being out there. He brought a lightness to this Yankee team. A levity.
Let's see how the Yankees play this year. Leadoff man on in the seventh. You've got the 7-hitter up there, and there's no way in the world they're going to bat for Vasquez. So that affects how you play it here. In the American League, you never have to worry about that because you don't have to ever worry about hitting for your pitcher or having your pitcher bat.
And Elmer, who's been around so many teams, as you mentioned, Gary, certainly a lot of the Yankees, including Joe Girardi, would know that he is a strike thrower. So the hit and run comes into play.
Cervelli tonight has walked and flied to center. And he bluffs bunt, pulls the bat back, and takes a strike. Keith, how would you play the defense here in this kind of a situation late in the game?
I would. I always believe seventh inning, if you got to guard the lines, particularly the side of the right-hand hitter, the third baseman. The Mets aren't. I wouldn't worry about a bunt here. Just, you know, Cervelli's hitting 350 plus. You're not going to bunt with him. He's been doing a good job. Play back.
Off the fist to second base. Cora with the spinning throw, and he throws it into left field. Swisher to third. Cervelli digging for second. He arrives safely, and the Yankees have second and third and nobody out. In a scoreless game, the big mistake belongs to Cora, who was trying to bluff the runner when the ball was first hit, and then tried to make a tough play and threw it away.
Well, he's so close, so he's in between how you're going to really rocket fire it or toss it over the head of the runner. But Swisher got right in the way, and just the throw not even close.
He did the right thing, Ronnie. He had the lead runner, but he kind of goosed it in there, and I think it was an unusual kind of pivot for him where he did the reverse pivot with his back to home plate. Let the ball go too quick out of his hand. It wasn't even close on the throw.
You're right. When he spun around, he never, ever got a sight of Jose Reyes at second base.
The Mets have the infield back in the seventh inning of a tie game as Kevin Russo takes outside ball one. With Javier Vasquez pitching a gem, the Mets are going to concede a run on a ground ball in the seventh inning. Interesting call by Jerry Manuel.
I would have the infield in. Now, if Teixeira or A-Rod, maybe not. This is the eighth place hitter.
Russo playing his first major league start. Lines one down the right field line, and that'll bring in the first 2 runs of the game. Swisher and Cervelli score. Russo to second with a 2-run double, and the Yankees have taken a 2-0 lead. Well, Russo, who earlier tonight picked up his first major league hit, now has his first major league extra base hit and his first 2 runs batted in.
Boy, it didn't take too long for this to all go so wrong. The error by Cora and the nice hitting by Russo. Gets a little breaking ball on the outside part. Stays right on it, Keith.
Up, belt high. That's the difference, Ronnie. And it stayed flat on the same elevation. He was going that way beautifully. Well, that didn't get it out enough.
So Elmer descends in his first big league appearance of the year. Gets hurt by his defense and then gets touched up for a big hit by a kid making his first big league start. Now Vasquez up there to bunt with a runner at second and nobody out. And he gets the bunt down, foul. Here's your IOTV pitch differential.
There it is. It's high, guys, and it's always a breaking ball is always a lot easier to hit up than down. Low and away, up and in, right, Ronnie?
Yeah, and you called it, Keith. It was a very flat slider on the same plane. That was the difference. Not much tilt to it.
Let's have their bullpen cranking again as descends fresh in from the minor leagues. Not faring well here in the 7th, so Nieve and Perez are up. And Worthen on the phone. Isunori Takahashi left after 6. Having allowed no runs and 5 hits. But descends. Who just came up with John Maine going on the DL, pressed into service in a tie game in the 7th. Vasquez with a beautiful bunt, and Descends has to go to first. 1-4 on the sacrifice, moving Russo over to third.
Well, what a game by Vasquez so far. 1 hitter through 6, 2 sacrifice bunts as he is playing his National League Baseball here.
So now Derek Jeter with a chance to get another run in. Worthen's going to head out to the mound before Descends faces Jeter.
Well, they're going to have to bring the infield in now, that's for sure. The one difference I find down here, I've been down here before, is the human element of the game. I know you get the speed of the game, but when we're upstairs, we kind of get separated from that. There's human beings out here playing the game. When you're sitting here, you realize that there are men out here playing this game, and men make mistakes, and it's just a whole different perspective on how to watch the game. You kind of forget that there's people out here playing, and there's very good people that can play this game, and it makes me want to get back on uniform. Sorry, I got to say that again.
Vasquez walking toward the tunnel with the trainer holding his hand.
Did he catch the bunt while he was bunting? That second bunt. Sorry, the first bunt, he might have caught a finger.
Infield in for Jeter, who takes a strike on the outside edge. So that's a huge turn of events with Vasquez working on a 1-hit shutout in the 7th inning.
Sorry, the ball might have hit him in the finger.
Let's watch. Saw this happen to David Cohn.
Yeah, it might have caught that finger wrapped around. You're supposed to pinch the bat, not have that finger on the underside of it.
This is something that American League managers worry about all the time with their pitchers. Remember, Chen Ming Wang hurt himself running the bases 2 years ago.
See that index finger? That is not supposed to be underneath there. It should be pinching the bat. And all it has to do is catch it right on the end and it'll just break your nail off.
Break the tip of your finger, too. There's the 1-1. Jeter grounds one toward the middle. Reyes snags it nicely. The runner holds, and Reyes throws him out. Beautiful play by Reyes for the second out.
Boy, Russo's got to score on that ball, guys. Up the middle. Poor read on his part. I can't believe with a 2-0 lead, infield in, that they wouldn't have contact. Let him go. Reyes having to go to his left, up the middle, as Jerry's going out probably to make a pitching change here. That should have been a third run right there.
So that's the second out of the inning. Oliver Perez will come in from the bullpen to face the left-hand hitter Gardner. Elmer descends, gives up a couple of runs here in the 7th as the Yankees go up 2-0. This call to the bullpen brought to you by Lincoln Mercury as Oliver Perez makes his way in. He means it, which probably means Javier Vasquez is coming out of the game. Meanwhile, Oliver Perez makes his second relief outing for the Mets.
Well, you see that ERA, the 0-3 start as Oliver tries to find himself out of the bullpen.
Faced two batters in Washington a couple of nights ago. A walk to Adam Dunn and then a line out from Josh Willingham. He comes in here to face Brett Gardner and misses away for ball one. Gardner is 0 for 3 tonight. Struck out and grounded out twice against Takahashi. A single by Swisher, a Cora error, and a 2-run double by Kevin Russo, the Long Island native, for the first 2 runs of the game here in the 7th. And Gardner takes a strike. 1-1. Mark Teixeira would be next. Mando Dieve up in the bullpen. Teixeira has struggled as a left-hand batter this year, so I think this is a one batter outing for Ollie. Off the corner, and it's 2-1 to Gardner. And the Yankee trainer is talking it over about Vasquez, who it would appear has been felled from this game after 6 scoreless innings. Now it's 2-1, and Gardner takes just off the plate, and Ollie falls behind 3-1.
Not missing by much, guys, is he?
Nope.
Yeah, just off the corner, Keith. A lot of strategy going on. It's a tight game.
Nick Swisher a coach now? That's ball 4, and Gardner's on with a walk. So Perez, as he did in Washington in his first relief outing, walks the first man to face him. Now, would you leave him in to face Teixeira, or are you going to bring in Dieve?
Looks like he's going to be left in.
He's in. It's pick your poison either way on either side of the plate with Teixeira.
Well, so far this year, he's hitting 100 points higher as a right-hand batter. And Dieve is up, but staying put. So now Teixeira weighs in against Perez. First and third and 2 down. And it's off the corner. No, it's on the corner for a strike, 0-1. Teixeira just 1 for 8 in his career against Ollie, which might have informed Jerry's decision to leave him in.
Ronnie, it looks like from here, I wish you could be down here looking at Ollie's stretch, his delivery. And we always are wondering, where's the velocity? His arm is really dragging behind his body. And I think that's where he's losing his velocity, is so much strain on his shoulder trying to catch up.
Catch up is a good phrase, Keith.
2-1 to Teixeira.
So what happens for Ollie is that he leans into the plate, never really sits back on that back side, so that arm never gets in front of his body. If it doesn't get in front of your body, you're not going to have the whip on the ball, and you're not going to have that good tilt on your breaking ball.
Dangerous spot here for Perez. 2-1 to Teixeira, and he hits it out to center field, and Pagan gets over, and that retires the side, so Perez gets the big out. But the Yankees put up the first 2 runs of the game. Alex Cora's mistake leads to the 2-run double by Kevin Russo. It's 2-0 Yankees at the 7th inning stretch. And Fios TV, internet, and phone. This is Fios. This is big. Buy StubHub. It's easier than ever to buy and sell men's tickets on StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the New York Mets. Add by Ford. Check out the best-selling vehicles in America. Drive one at your Tri-State Ford dealer today. Look who's back. It's our friends Shabari Shamandeep. Their new commercials are on the air, and now they're here to promote the launch of their new web store. Check it out at nynysportsports.com. Well, Joe Girardi's going to make a couple of changes. He's going to bring in Randy Wynn to play left field for defense. And forced to go to his bullpen after Javier Vasquez apparently took one on his index finger while trying to bunt. And so Vasquez leaves and David Robertson replaces him.
Was the last appearance was in yesterday's ball game. 2 perfect innings as Robertson has been getting better and better. Started the season a little slow. Good fastball, great fastball. Very deceptive. Good overhand curveball.
Yankees have had some bullpen difficulties of late. Alex Cora, who's error helped lead to 2 runs. Leading off, Alex has been up twice and walked both times. The only 2 walks given up by Vasquez, who threw just 70 pitches in 6 innings, allowed no runs and 1 hit, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, but forced to leave after a bunting mishap. 2-0 to Cora with Bay and Davis to follow. There's a strike. Yankee bullpen has really struggled lately. Look at that last 7 games. And the Yankee pitching staff as a whole, you can say that up too, as Damaso Marte gets up in the bullpen. sharply through the hole, base hit. And so Cora's on base for the third straight time. And the Mets get it started against Robertson in the bottom of the seventh.
Well, this is Alex at his best. Fastball up. Get that third baseman A-Rod in. Opens up that hole in between he and Jeter.
Well, the Mets get the tying run to the plate with Jason Bay coming up. And I referenced it briefly, but this is what American League managers always fear. Now, with Vasquez, you don't expect it because he's a guy who's played in the National League. But 2 years ago, the Yankees lost Chen Ming-Wang running the bases, and now they lose Vasquez in their first interleague game trying to get a bunt down. Bay hits one in the air to center field, and Gardner has it lined up. It's a mile high, and Gardner reels it in. So Bay, first pitch swinging, flies out for the first out.
Boy, guys, I just saw the frustration on Jason Bay when he hit that ball. He just missed it, got under it, and said an expletive as he came running down the line, and just the frustration as he came close to first base. Something we don't normally see from up there. We can't see because we're so high up. But he is definitely frustrated.
Well, it's been building with Jason. You know, he's been getting his hits, but this guy was brought here to hit 30 home runs, and he's still stuck on one. Joe Girardi out to the mound with the left hand hitting Davis coming up. He's got Marte, the left-hander, ready in the bullpen. And he has made the sign, and Marte is going to come on. Yankees with a 2-0 lead in the seventh. We'll be right back. The 35-year-old lefty Damaso Marte comes out of the Yankee bullpen.
Well, Marte was so good for this Yankee club last year in the postseason. Didn't allow a run in 8 postseason appearances. In fact, retiring his final 12 batters faced.
Been a little up and down this year, particularly with his control. He comes in to face Ike Davis, who has handled lefties very well in his short big league career. He's the tying run at the plate in a 2-0 game with Cora at first and 1 out. And Davis pulls off and takes a strike, 0-1. Keith, we talk all the time about Davis stepping in the bucket. Can you see clearly from there?
No, it's a bad angle for me here to see that. And I did see that was a fastball away. Maybe the catcher setting up away. It's hard to tell from this angle.
And a good breaking ball by Marte gets him ahead 0-2.
Little dribbler, Cervelli, a long way to get it. The running toss hits the runner. And everybody's safe. Now, they do not call him for running out of the lane. The home plate umpire, Jim Wolf, says that Davis was in the right spot. And so the Mets have the tying runs on base.
Boy, I'll tell you one thing. Marte didn't even come off the mound to field that ball, Ronnie.
I mean, that's his play. But he fall through to that third base side. He probably wouldn't even got there. Gets the throw on the run, takes that ball back into the runner.
And you can see Davis was indeed running in that 45-foot, 3-foot wide lane.
He might be one of the first I've ever seen that was in the lane. Almost every runner runs on the infield grass going down that first base line.
Usually the best thing you can do is aim for the runner because almost every time he'll be out for running out of the lane. But Jabba Chamberlain's going to come out of the Yankee bullpen now that the Mets have the tying runs on base, and David Wright coming up here in the 7th inning. 2-0. David Wright coming up in a big spot in the bottom of the 7th with the tying runs on base to face the fireballing right-hander Jabba Chamberlain.
Well, Jabba's ERA has jumped in his last 2 outings. He has struggled. His last good outing was 6 days ago against Minnesota when he struck out the side.
Last time out, Tuesday against Boston, he gave up 4 runs and 4 hits in an inning. Before that, 2/3 of an inning, 3 runs on 2 hits against Minnesota.
Well, guys, the crowd is getting jazzed up here. David, when he made the pitching change, came right into the dugout to Howard Johnson. Howard Johnson broke out the scouting report on Jabba. So I can't read the writing. It's too small. I don't know what it's going on, but it's obviously tendencies of Jabba probably.
The tendencies are fastball, slider, Keith. Go get him.
I understand.
That's Jabba as a starter last year, now back in the bullpen for his 20th appearance. 2 on and 1 out, and David takes high for ball 1. The one thing the Mets saw with Jabba last year is an inability to consistently throw strikes.
You see here, Wynn, the veteran, has a decent arm. Gardner charges very hard, has a good arm, and of course Swisher in right field. Not that great of an arm, not that great of a right fielder.
1-1 to Wright, who's grounded out and struck out tonight 0 for 2. So the Mets made an error in the top of the inning that led to 2 runs, and now the Yankees have made an error in the bottom of the inning. Cora made the error, redeemed himself with a base hit, then Cervelli with the throwing error, hitting Davis in the back. And documented the fact Davis had his problems late in games. Trying to come through here in the 7th in a big spot. 1-1. Up and in. 2-1. 96 from Chamberlain.
You know, we showed that stat, but literally one swing of the bat in these big pressure situations can get you going for a whole year if the gun's on deck. pretty straight up. Deep in the middle here. Almost deeper than most double play depth.
On 2-1, Wright lays off the slider, and now Chamberlain behind 3-1.
Boy, Chamberlain really goosed that one. There's a 2-1 pitch for him, and he wanted to throw the breaking ball, and boy, he did the Archie Bell and the drills on it. I just hate to belabor a point, but those are pitches that David would wear out 3 years ago, and it's just because he's got the huge uppercut. I mean, he was on that pitch, but he's got the uppercut and high fastball, and you're swinging up. You've got to be just perfect with that, as we always say, the cylindrical bat and the spherical ball.
Now the 3-2. On the outside corner, strike 3 call. Chamberlain gets right looking for the second out.
That was knee high, guys. I can't tell the corner.
You can read David's lips. That ball is down, he said to Jim Wolf. Here's a pitch sequence, Keith. Fastball up. Go ahead. Another fastball up. A little slider, 2-1. Comes back and beats him with the fastball, and then
that had the knees, guys.
That's a strike.
That might be a perfect pitch.
So 2 out and 2 on. And it's left to Angel Pagan. Angel has one of the 2 met hits tonight. He singled the center against Javier Vasquez in the 5th. The only hit Vasquez gave up. And Angel takes a strike at the knees.
Pete said it's on the knees, and he painted the outside corner. Just an outstanding pitch from Java.
PPG Pittsburgh painting job with that overhead camera. 0-1 to Pagan. Angel's been the Mets' best hitter with runners in scoring position this year. .360 on the season. Java is stranded 12 of 13 this year that he's inherited. Nando Nieve ready in the Mets bullpen as the Mets try and fight back here in the 7th. 1-1 to Pagan. Up and away, 2-1. Pagan keeps the inning going. Rod Barajas, the Mets home run leader, would be next.
Well, you got to think if you're Pagan that you're going to get a fastball here. 2-1 count. Doesn't want to go 3-1.
You got your guy with 10 home runs in the on-deck circle, leading the team in home runs. Just continue the rally. Don't try to hit a 3-run shot.
Fouled away. 2-2. Angel with 3 home runs, including his inside the park home run a couple of nights ago in Washington. 18 runs batted in.
A gapper in this ballpark is going to score 2. So there's no need to try to hit the 3-run home run. Don't go out of your game. Angel's not a home run hitter.
Did he stop the swing? He did. As he laid off the slider and a full count to Pagan. Now the runners will get the extra start.
Good job by Angel holding that bat back. A nasty pitch from Java.
Cervelli and Jeter at the mound to converse about what comes next. You have to figure he's throwing the fastball at 3-2. Right?
Well, Barajas up next. I agree. Pitcher's choice. He's missed with 2 breaking balls to Pagan, so he can't feel great about that pitch.
First career at bat for Pagan against Java. Cora and Davis get set to run with 3-2 and 2 down. inches, were there?
Remember, 2-1 fastball to Pagan, who threw away and beat him.
On 3-2, Pagan tries to hold up, but he went around. Strike three. Cervelli with the toss to end the inning. Pagan couldn't stop the swing. Chamberlain with back-to-back strikeouts, and the Mets strand two in the seventh. 2-0 Yankees. Son pairs who played for the Yankees and the Mets.
Well, one's obvious.
There are 7 father-son pairs to play for the Mets and Yankees. Fernando Nieve trying to fight out of a slump as he takes the mound for the 8th inning.
Yeah, he was Mr. Reliable early in the season as Jerry went to him early and often. But in 8 games since his 6-up, 6-down outing in Cincinnati on May 3rd, in those 8 games he's allowed 8 runs, all earned in 5 2/3 innings, with 6 walks and only 1 strikeout.
Alex Rodriguez lays off in the 8th inning. A-Rod 2 for 3, an infield hit and a double to right. And he takes a letter high strike from Nieve. It'll be A-Rod, then Robinson Cano and Nick Swisher for the Yankees in the 8th inning. The Yankees 2 runs, 7 hits. The Mets no runs and only 2 hits. Isanori Takahashi was brilliant for the Mets tonight in his first big league start. Takahashi tonight became the first Met pitcher to work 6+ innings and allow no runs in his first career start since Tyler Yates back in 2004. Good fastball by Nieve, 2-2 to A-Rod.
Tyler Yates, the young man from Hawaii?
Yep.
Good fastball to Nieve, right by A-Rod.
Takahashi left after 6, having thrown 101 pitches. Elmer descends in his first outing of the year, just called up from Buffalo. Did not fare well in his 2/3 of an inning. Gave up 2 runs, 1 of them earned on 2 hits. 3-2 now to A-Rod.
There's about 100 reasons what makes A-Rod such a tough hitter, but for me, when I look at any holes that he has, one of the toughest is that he has the ability, like Mike Piazza you had in the booth tonight, ability to shoot you to right center for a home run.
Did that here at Citi Field last year. And it just misses ball 4, so A-Rod's on with a leadoff walk. 3rd walk given up by Met pitching tonight. So the leadoff man on, Robinson Cano coming up. Let's check in with Kevin Burkhardt. Kevin?
Talking to Robinson Cano earlier today, guys, and I asked him, who's really been the most influential guy in his baseball career, and he said his dad Jose. And interestingly enough, they talk all the time. After games, we'll give him a call, and he said he critiques me. And I said, well, how does that happen? He said, well, he'll ask what I did, he'll ask the pitch, and he'll say, well, why are you letting your front side fly open? He just kind of knows, but it's great. I go to him all the time, and he's really been a huge help for me. He's his go-to guy, and Jerry is going to another go-to guy.
And of course, Robinson Cano's father, Jose, a big leaguer in his own right. He'll face the left-hander Pedro Feliciano as we come back to Citi Field in just a moment. Perpetual Pedro Feliciano trying to bounce back from an off night last night as he comes in to face Robinson Cano with a man aboard in the 8th, and he gets it inside to Cano 1-0.
Well, it's been a struggle for Pedro the last couple of outings with his control as he's been pushed sometimes past an inning. But in here to face the left-handed Cano, left-hander's only 7 for 34 off Pedro this season.
Alex Rodriguez drew the leadoff walk for Fernando Nieve, who faced just one batter. And the Mets used their 5th pitcher of the night to face Cano, who's 1 for 3, doubled off the wall and left against Takahashi in the 4th. But then Takahashi struck him out, his final batter in the 6th. And a good fastball by Pedro for a strike, 1-1.
9 pitchers used so far by both sides in a 2-0 game.
Update on Javier Vasquez, a bruised right index finger. He will be taken for x-rays this evening. I certainly hope for Vasquez's sake that that finger is not broken, because all of a sudden he started to turn things around his last couple of starts with a relief outing in between. No shoots, one foul, 1-2.
Got a vicious swing, this young man, doesn't he? And he's able to get so much torque on his swing, but at the same time, it's level. It stays in the zone a long time.
You know, guys, I asked, if he thought or if he thinks about a Triple Crown. And he said, I'd be lying if I said I thought about that, but I do think about a batting title.
Not sure he'll hit enough home runs to win a Triple Crown. 1-2 from Feliciano, and he gets it on his fist and he fouls it off. But boy, he can hit.
Yes, he can.
Sellout crowd here at Citi Field tonight, 41,382. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Good slider by Feliciano to get Cano for the first down of the inning. Let's check in with Gary Apple for a New York State Smokers Quit Line game break. Jim Hudson, 8 innings, 3 hits for the Braves tonight.
Hayward had an amazing April, kind of slackened off a little the first 2 weeks of May, and he's red hot again.
And so are the Braves, 4 in a row, 9 of their last 11 with that win tonight. Here's Nick Swisher with 1 out and 1 on. And the backdoor breaking ball misses 1-0.
You know, the lingering effects from that win they got in yesterday's ball game, where they come back with 7 in the 9th with the Conrad grand slam home run. That can keep that momentum for days.
Can hurt. Swisher 1 for 3 tonight, and he pokes one into shallow left, and back goes Reyes to grab it. Just a little half swing off the end of the bat, and Reyes quick enough to get out there for the second out. So 2 away, and now Francisco Cervelli, who has certainly made his presence felt in this game. He's walked, flied out, reached on there, has scored a run, and hit one of the best throws from behind the plate we've seen all year. But not just that, but he has a real presence behind the plate we've seen tonight.
Yeah, he really works physically and intelligently with his pitcher, imploring him to throw the ball where he's given the target. I don't know if he'll do it against the left-hander, but this is where Alex Rodriguez tries to occasionally take a base on him.
A-Rod with 2 steals this year. Luciano pretty good at holding runners on. And takes a look at A-Rod. A-Rod's next stolen base will be the 300th of his career. Before too long, he'll be a 600, 300 guy. Mariano Rivera's got one of those yellow balls that we saw the Mets playing with yesterday.
It was Pedro, in fact, who was throwing it up against the wall.
2-0. That's along the lower third of the order coming up in the 8th inning. Randy Wynn, who came on for defense, is sitting in the 8 hole. He's on deck. Now the 2-0, but first to throw to first, and A-Rod is back. It's not the 4th of July, is it?
No, Memorial Day is next weekend, right?
Somebody's having some fun.
Love it. I'm a sucker for fireworks, I'll tell you that. Anytime.
It's beautiful. Feliciano behind 2-0 on Cervelli, and a letter high strike, 2-1.
One of the few major leaguers not to use batting gloves in that up at the plate.
Well, Keith will tell us all about that if he ever comes back to the booth. Here's the 2-1. He was threatening to stop off the taco stand on the way up.
You're hoping he picks you up one?
Well, if he goes to La Verona, I know 2 things. One, he's definitely got to buy us all tacos. But 2, he's probably signing about 100,000 autographs while he's there. Two and 2 to Cervelli. And that just missed. A full count to Cervelli. And as Feliciano threw that pitch, A-Rod was breaking back toward the bag at first base. Now he'll be breaking to second with the count 3-2 with 2 out. Feliciano's retired his first 2 hitters. Now he's 3-2 on Cervelli. A-Rod runs. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. 2 strikeouts of the inning for Feliciano, and he keeps it a 2-0 game going to the bottom of the 8th. The single greatest moment of Benny Agbayani's major league career. The home run off Aaron Foltz in Game 3 of the National League Division Series that gave the Mets a 2-1 lead in that series in 2000. That's legendary Met, brought to you by Panasonic Vieira. Benny's in the ballpark tonight.
I knew it was a big home run. You know why? Because it got a double out of here.
That was a big one. That was a great series. As the Mets lost the first game of that series, were in danger of losing Game 2 after J.T. Snow hit a tying home run in San Francisco against Armando Benitez. Mets pulled that game out in extra innings. John Franco struck out Barry Bonds to end it.
3-2 change?
Yep. Then Benny won Game 3 with that home run. And then Game 4, Bobby Jones pitched the greatest game of his life, a complete game 1-hitter to close out the series. Rod Barajas leads off in the bottom of the 8th against Jabba Chamberlain. And there's Benny. Great to see Benny in the ballpark. One of the more popular Mets ever. Maybe it's the Hawaii thing.
Aloha, brother. How you doing?
He's just a nice man.
Yeah, he's good guy.
He just projected nice.
He was one of those guys who never was a prospect. And Bobby Valentine had faith in him. And then he performed for him.
Yes.
He wasn't the only one. Barajas 0 for 2. Takes up and in from Chamberlain 1-1.
Especially in the outfield, right? You got a lot of superb play from guys that hadn't had a past record of being stars.
Manager's job is to get the most out of his 25, and Bobby Valentine certainly did on that with that team.
Manny Acosta up in the Mets bullpen. 2-1 to Barajas with Jeff Francoeur on deck, and then the pitcher's spot as the Mets try and get something going here in the bottom of the 8th after ringing up 10 runs and 15 hits last night. They've been held to no runs and 2 hits tonight as Chris Carter has a bat. Of course, he always has a bat. That's what he does. Chamberlain taking a long time with nobody on base. 2-2 to Barajas. Javier Vasquez went 6 innings, allowed no runs and 1 hit, walked 2, struck out 6, left after being hit on the right index finger while laying down a sacrifice. been taken for x-rays. Dave Robertson faced 2 batters, gave up a hit. Chamberlain came on, worked around an error to strike out 2 in the 7th and staying on for the 8th. Now the 2-2, fouled away.
One thing down there, Gary, is that you don't realize the music's being played. We're kind of pushing from the music up here, I guess, the acoustics of the stadium. You hear the music in between innings more when you're down there, or they're trying to jazz up the crowd.
Off the end of the bat, and Rod hangs in there. This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat from Chamberlain. And Barajas pulls one foul. Looking that slider, and it's still 2-2. Mets could not be more thrilled with what they've gotten from Ron Barajas. Late signing, who has turned out to be just a godsend, both with the bat and with the way he's handled the pitching staff.
Just kind of
so slow.
He does. Kind of happy-go-lucky too. Rod Barajas always has a smile on his face. Clubhouses need that.
Again, the 2-2, and he fouls off another one. Barajas giving a good accounting of himself here against Chamberlain. Well, there's no question this year, win or lose, the Mets clubhouse is a much happier place. Last night's incident notwithstanding.
Yes.
Cole Hamels, a great effort for the Phillies tonight. 7 innings, 3 hits, 8 strikeouts to beat the Red Sox. Ninth pitch of the at-bat, and Barajas down swinging. So Chamberlain wins that battle, his 3rd consecutive strikeout. So 1 out in the 8th. Tonight after the post game and at 1 a.m. catch the only New York sports news and highlights show in town. We'll have more reaction on the John Maine saga. We'll hear about little Jets news and some medical reports from Big Blue on Geico Sports Night tonight after the post game and at 1 a.m. right here on SNY. A-Rod getting up alongside Acosta, hoping the Mets can get some runs here in the 8th. The Mets have only been shut out once this year. But they've only got 5 outs to play with, and they've got only 2 hits tonight. Francoeur is 0 for 2, and Jeff pops one up along the line. Long run for Swisher over near that short fence, and it lands in the crowd as Teixeira got closest to it. They haven't played here much. That area, right fielder, the first baseman, the second baseman, is a dangerous spot. Got that low fence that everybody can arrive at once. You really have to pull up short.
But you have to learn how to slide in there.
Cervelli moving away, and the slider hit toward short. Jeter moves over to grab it, and there are 2 out. So Chamberlain looking solid, has retired 4 in a row, 3 strikeouts and a ground ball.
You said he had 2 tough outings in a row. Well, he's just been superb here. And one thing that when I was sitting down there,
as the Yankees kept bringing in relievers, the miles per hour kept going up. The harder they threw. They brought in some guys with some arms. Marte, and it was increased with Jabba.
Dave Island out to the mound to talk to Chamberlain before he takes on Chris Carter, who he has never faced before.
A little scouting report on Carter.
Don't they have meetings, Ronnie? Didn't you used to have pitchers meetings?
Yeah.
For every series, and you went over all the hitters?
But it's the 8th inning, guys. Forget.
They do?
He might have forgotten already.
I know that they always go over the hitters with the starters, and I think that it's the bullpen's coach and the bullpen coach for the New York Yankees, Mike Harkey. That's his probably job in between innings to go over with the relievers, guys they might face.
Carter attacks the first pitch fastball and fouls it back.
Sergio Mitre getting loose.
I don't think he's coming in the 9th. Just a guess.
No, getting his workout in.
Mitre made a start for the Yankees last time around. And Carter takes one just off the plate, 1-1.
It's in this big ballpark. Just pitch the ball, pitch him away, and if he wants to try to pull one out of here, good luck.
Chris was raised in the Red Sox organization. He knows all about getting ready to face the Yankees. Out to left it goes, where Randy Wynn is waiting. And so Chamberlain sets the Mets down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 8th. Offense missing for the Mets tonight. 2-0 going to the 9th. As the Mets host Chase Utley and the Phillies at Citi Field. Mets-Phillies coverage begins Tuesday at 6:30 only on SNY. Our great aerial coverage tonight brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. We have seen some amazing pictures from up above on a beautiful night in New York. Manny Acosta will be the 6th Met pitcher of the night.
And he has pitched 6 of the last 8 days, 3 days in a row now, but he's unscored upon in his last 5 outings.
First man he'll face will be Randy Wynn, who came on for defense in the 7th inning. And the former San Francisco Giant takes up and in for ball 1. Juan Miranda has gone on deck.
There he is.
Mariano Rivera's getting ready in the bullpen. See, I told you it wouldn't be Sergio Mitre. Late swing by Wynn, and it's 1-1. Well, Acosta came off when Ryota Igarashi went on the disabled list. Igarashi pitched again tonight for Buffalo. Back-to-back outings. He pitched a scoreless inning tonight, 16 pitches, so he should be ready to go as early as Sunday. And so the Mets will have another decision to make. Floated out over third and a base hit for Randy Winn. Bay gets to it quickly and holds Winn to a single. So the Yankees have their 8th hit of the game. But there are so many decisions for the Mets to make in a pitching context right now. Takahashi have to figure with his outing tonight is another start.
Yes, he's a starter.
Has R.A. Dickey earned another start with his outing?
Sure. Check.
Who takes that third spot in the rotation? Because you got 3 pitchers missing now with Perez in the bullpen and Maine and Neese on the DL.
Pat Mish with another fine outing in yesterday's ball game.
Someone's going to get called up.
Yeah.
Now Juan Miranda, big first baseman who homered yesterday for the Yankees, takes a strike. Another rehabbing Met player has started the clock. Daniel Murphy played his first rehab game for St. Lucie tonight. Went 2 for 3 with a home run. Drove in a couple, played first base. The plan with Murph is to have him play a few different positions. Maybe not initially on rehab, but eventually play some second, play some left field, and come back as a jack of all trades.
It's called the Ike factor.
Well, if you want to work, you got to be flexible. And Miranda takes low, and it's 2-1. Medical update on Javier Vasquez. The X-rays on his finger were negative, so that's good news for the Yankees. Yes. 2-1. First to throw to first. Close play as Winn gets a hand back in.
Good move here by Acosta. Boy, that was close. Got him on the elbow.
And Miranda swings and misses at a fastball. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Down and away. Good pitch by Acosta. Good movement, too.
Good sinker.
Miranda, 19 home runs in AAA last season.
Well, Acosta's looked better and better. He's trying to make the decision tough when the time comes, when Igarashi comes back. Now the 2-2. Low and inside. One of the options that the Mets have is to move Raul Valdez into the rotation off his long relief outing last night to take Maine's spot, and that would open up another spot in that bullpen for a guy like Acosta to stay.
It would, but they need someone down there who can pitch long distance. Acosta, for me, is more of a guy, maybe 2 innings tops. I wouldn't see him as a long man.
Maybe Ollie's your long man.
He could certainly do it. He's geared as a starter.
The runner goes right back to Acosta. Out at second. Reyes' relay. 1-6-3 double play. Nicely done with the runner going. Acosta had to hurry and threw it right on target. 2 out.
Great wherewithal from Acosta. You know, the only way you can make this play with the runner running is that it's a hard shot back to you. One hopper back, perfect throw to Reyes, and able to turn it on.
Reyes with a strong arm.
So just like that, 2 out and nobody on, and now Derek Jeter comes up for the 5th time. Jeter led off the game with a ground single to right. Since then, he struck out twice and grounded out to Reyes. Isanori Takahashi was very resourceful in his outing. Twice the Yankees had 2nd and 3rd and 1 out. Each time he got out of it thanks to a key strikeout. Jeter in the 3rd and Swisher in the 4th. Takahashi with 6 scoreless tonight in his first big league start. The Yankees got their only 2 runs in the 7th off Elmer Descends, one of them unearned, the result of an Alex Cora error. Both runs driven in by Long Island native Kevin Russo in his first major league start. So there'll be a lot of storylines coming out of this game if it stays the way it is. The injury to Vasquez, the performance by Takahashi, Russo's role, and the decision by Jerry Manuel to go to Descends in a tie game in the 7th. Broken back grounder. Reyes charges and throws out Jeter to end the inning. So the Mets with one more chance as they'll face the greatest closer of all time at the bottom of the 9th. Question we asked for the 7 father and son pairs who played for the Yankees and the Mets.
We got the Davises, the Berras,
the Alomars,
the Alous,
Bob and Darren Oliver. I forgot that Bob Oliver played for the Yankees, and the Schofield. Dick Schofield, the younger, played for the Mets.
I didn't know that.
Played for the Yankees.
I did not know that. Dick Schofield was drafted the same year as I was drafted.
Of that group, Ron and Ike Davis are the only pair to play their first games as Yankee and Met.
Wow.
Davis first pitch for the Yankees, and Ike, of course, with the Mets. Is Mariano Rivera, and his 533 career saves takes the mound.
Well, what do you say about the greatest reliever in baseball history as he comes in here and tries to protect a 2-0 lead for the Yankees?
And it's a couple of back-to-back poor outings for Rivera. Took a loss in his last outing with a couple of unearned runs. And this outing before that gave up a grand slam to Jason Kubel. Reyes will bat right-handed against Rivera to try and negate the cutter, and he takes a strike. What do you think about that, Keith?
I think it's a good idea. We've seen it before. That thing comes in on your hands. Obviously, Jose has trouble with it. The cutter's going to break away from you. You can extend your hands.
And he takes a strike, and it's 0-2.
No one in the history of the game, to me, repeats his motion better than Mariano Rivera. I mean, I hate to say it because he's a human being, but almost machine-like in the way he repeats what he does.
Ahead on Reyes, 0-2, and Jose gets jammed. Well, batting right-handed didn't help him there.
One of the things that Rivera's been doing a little different this year is that he's always had a 2-seam sinker that he throws in on the righty, but he's been using it more this year.
Well, he's not throwing the cutter as hard as he did in the past. You used to see it at 93. Now it's more like 90. Does it matter?
He can't make the mistake like he used to. That's probably the only difference. If he's out over the plate, he can get hurt.
1-2 to Reyes with Cora and Bay to follow. Rivera is now 40 years old. His contract's up at the end of the year. You wonder how many more years he's going to be able to keep performing at this stellar level. 2-2 to Reyes. We've seen Trevor Hoffman hit a wall.
Yes, he has.
With Milwaukee. Of course, he's got a little different game than Rivera does.
In fact, they gave Trevor Hoffman the weekend off so he can work with pitching coach Rick Peterson on his mechanics.
Hoffman, the all-time saves leader. Rivera, the all-time American League saves leader. Reyes hits one out to shallow left center, and in comes Wynn for the first out of the inning. So one down in the ninth. Let's check in with Chris Carlin and Bobby Ojeda, see what's coming up on Lincoln Mercury postgame live. Randy Wynn finally gets somebody's attention that there's a wiffle ball out on the warning track. Mets tonight have been hitting like they were facing a wiffle ball. It's been a rough one. Mets have been shut out only once this year, have managed just 2 hits tonight. Alex Cora has one of the 2. He singled to left in the 7th against David Robertson. Now facing Rivera. Cora on base 3 times, a single and 2 walks. And he takes a cutter for a strike. One and one to Alex. Game 2 of the series tomorrow night. Mike Pelfrey will pitch for the Mets, trying for his 6th win of the year against Phil Hughes, who's still unbeaten despite a rough start his last outing. Johan Santana against CC Sabathia Sunday night. And Cora trying to drag a bunt, and he misses. 1 and 2. Jason Bay waiting on deck. It's been an empty night for the Mets offense. One and 2 to Cora. Tap back to the mound. 2 out. And so the Mets are down to their final out of the night. And any hope that they would be able to continue the momentum with their offense that they established last night is 1 out away from dissolving.
Well, prior to last night's game, when they had 15 hits, they had 15 hits in 3 games, and now with only a deuce in this game tonight.
Bay tonight has struck out and flied out twice, each time on the first pitch the last 2 at bats, and he takes ball 1 from Rivera. Bay is 1 for 5 in his career against Rivera. The 1 hit, a home run. And Jason takes a strike. 1-1. It was a game-winning home run he hit against Rivera up at Fenway Park. Ike Davis hoping for a turn if Bay can keep it going. And Jason foul tips one into Cervelli's mid, and now the Mets are down to their final strike. Hit in the air to left field. Going back is Wynn onto the warning track. Back near the wall. It's off the fence. Bay heads for second. Pulls in with a 2-out double, and the Mets are alive in the ninth.
Well, how huge is that 3rd run, Ronnie, that they didn't pick up? The Yankees didn't pick up. Bay gets a hanger right there.
The Great Wall of Flushing. That's how Rose loves to call it. 9th double of the year for Bay, and now Ike Davis comes to the plate as the tying run for his first look at Mariano Rivera. Ike is 0 for 3 tonight. Last time unreached on an error by Cervelli, who hit him in the back with a throw.
We've talked many times how Ike likes that ball middle of the plate in.
4 home runs this year for the rookie first baseman. And he drives one toward the gap in right center field. That's an extra base hit, rolling all the way to the wall. Bay scores
Here's Davis thinking about three. Is going to stop at second base. I thought he would have made third easily, but he seemed to stumble coming around the bag.
He didn't stumble. He lost his stride because he didn't have the proper stride to tag second base and smoothly.
So it's an RBI double for Davis. It's a 2-1 ball game, and the tying runs on second.
Down and in.
He likes that ball game, doesn't he, Chief?
Yes, down and in right there. And that was good pitch. He just turned on it. I think Mariano may have to put that in the back of his head. Watch him lose his stride here, folks. See, he looked at the third base coach. There was no need for him to pick up the third base coach. Plays in front of him, make your own decision.
That ball was 415 feet away by the time the outfielders got to it. We're going to get a pinch runner now. And Luis Castillo, playing with the bruised foot, is going to come on to run for Davis. So Castillo carrying the tying run. Will stand at second base with 2 out. And David Wright comes to the plate.
Well, this might be a good matchup for David with that cutter away, and David could set up on the outside part of the plate. Base hit ties the ball game.
2 for 5 in his career against Rivera. And David grounds one to the right side. Cano gets over, makes the play, and throws out Wright to end the ball game. The Mets get a run against Rivera in the ninth on back-to-back doubles by Bay and Davis, but they come up a run shy on a night when Takahashi made a brilliant first major league start. Javier Vasquez was even better, and the Yankees scratch out a couple of runs in the seventh as Kevin Russo drives in a pair to give the Yankees a 2-1 win.
You're right, Gary. The starters were outstanding tonight. The Yankees picked up a couple of runs against Elmer Descends in the seventh, but I think the key really for the Yankees tonight was to work a job with Chamberlain, getting that ball to Rivera and ending in 2/3 and 0.
And let's not forget Javier Vasquez, who came in here with an ERA over 8, and he threw a fine ball game. And the Mets offense just staggering and didn't get much going offensively to the ninth inning.
So the Yankees take the opener of the series as Javier Vasquez, despite leaving with an injury to his index finger, picks up the victory. Elmer Descends in his first appearance of the year comes out of the bullpen and takes the loss behind a brilliant effort by Takahashi, who went 6 scoreless in his first big league start. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by IOTV. Get the best in HD free with IOTV. By Parts Authority, the future of auto parts. By Bigelow Tea, Joe Torre and Wayne Gretzky's green tea of choice. By Panasonic Viera with 3D this lifelike. Can we still call it a TV? By Rums of Puerto Rico, the rum capital of the world. And by Time Warner Cable. Get cable, high-speed online and digital home phone service with Time Warner Cable's all the best triple play. Mets and Yankees play 2 more on national TV. We'll be back with you on Tuesday night when the Mets play the Phillies here at Citi Field. 6:30 the coverage on SNY. The Yankees win this one 2-1. Now for Keith Hernandez, Ron Darling, Kevin Burkhardt, and our entire SNY crew, I'm Gary Cohen. Now off to Chris Carlin, Bobby Ojeda, and Darryl Strawberry with Lincoln Mercury post-game live.